Okay. So trying to get this computer stuff situated, but it's tripping on me. I don't know what the heck is going on here, but we're here. We're here. Hope everybody is having a good weekend. I believe it's MLK tomorrow. So that's going to be something that I guess everybody's going to have a reason to like a black man. It's because of their holiday. Okay. Yeah, my music works. All right. Okay. Anyhow, so welcome you guys. We're going to be having a conversation about the Octanes with your master teacher here and some of the women that have things to say about family and being wives. So that's going to be a treat. Um, so what we're going to do also at the end, when everything is done, we'll bring a person up one at a time, um, mainly a lady, to have either a conversation or some questions about what they heard, some opinions, give them enough time so that other people can come up and, just try to do something different, because it seemed like a lot of people are doing a lot of the same stuff. We want to be able to give a variety around here. So without any further ado, we have the one and only, the great BGS. I forgot to get the little bit. I like to do it when everybody's
It's okay. You don't have to bring out the haters today.
here. So what's going on there, Master Teacher?
Oh, yeah, well, you know how it is. No rest for the weary. You know how it is.
Man, you ain't lying. Shoot. I made some pancakes. I don't know what I put in it, but I was knocked out. I was like, damn, I poisoned myself. Um,
Too much sugar.
yeah, you know what? I got a sugar free, a good sugar free syrup without
Mm-hmm.
uh what do you call that? Uh aspartame.
Aspartame, yeah.
I found one without it. I was like, whoa, really? So
Mm-hmm.
it works. I don't do it a lot. Man, I got a troll like this early.
Yeah. Those are bots. Yeah.
Yeah, they always put the troll bots out there. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
well, it's all good and dandy. It's, they can have it. We just keep us busy, right?
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, keep us busy. It's like, all right, well, I ain't falling asleep, so
Well, you got mods. They'll take care of it.
oh yeah. I wish I could. I mean, don't we have like people like Keep It Techie and all of them to give us some tutorials on how to take care of that?
Well, unfortunately, keep it techie is not as good as the people that actually make the bots.
Hmm. Okay, so we need a team of them.
You're gonna have you need better programmers. Keep it techie. They're good at what they do, but they're not at that level.
Oh, okay.
Because
All right, we
Russian
got.
bots, you got to have the guys that have masters and PhDs in computer science and stuff like that to actually make up whole systems. Those are the kind of guys you need to actually keep your bots out.
I would get Gabe A, but he probably don't want to put the bots out anyway.
Even Gabe A's not at that level.
Oh, okay. Well,
No,
I'll search.
no,
You
these
know.
these guys, these kind of guys are at the NSA level.
Oh, dang. I got to call my aunt.
These are these are guys you have to go to I think it's in June or July, the Black Hat conference, right? Where
Mm.
all the elite hackers they show up there. So if you're at the Black Hat conference and you giving a speech, you're one of those guys. In fact,
Oh,
that's where
wow.
the NSA, the FBI, and the CIA go to recruit um, programmers.
I got it. Okay. All right. Oh, man. So we got about 23 in the building. Please hit the like button.
Yeah,
Subscribe.
and it's also contribute. If I'm going to be doing octanes, then you guys need to contribute because um, this is this is probably going to be close to a seminar level, and you know I've been paid quite handsomely to actually give these seminars. So at least you can't throw in tens and twenties, throw in a buck or two because uh,
Yeah, we.
this is extensive. This is seminar level. Trust and believe.
Yeah, we
And
give.
I have been paid to do seminars on this.
See, you guys hear that, right? So,
Hmm.
see, if I would have said it like, man, you making this up, Art.
No, no, they no. I've presented it, and I always get questions about octanes. And a lot of questions I get are from dating coaches.
Yeah, it's very valuable. Very
It's very
valuable
valuable.
stuff.
In fact, Kevin uses it all the time. You don't hear it because he doesn't come right out and say it. But um, when he talked about matching people up and high value guys, he's talking about, and he's talking about high value guys that are entertainers.
Hmm.
Okay, those that he's using an octane. He's
Yeah,
talking about 92 octane guys that are corporate and above, but are not don't have the fame and status of an entertainer.
I think it's very, very, very necessary because some people are hooking up people based on false pretenses. They don't even know who they're with because they don't know the octane themselves. It's probably just bypassing all that just because of looks, maybe only
Yeah,
or.
I mean, yeah, it's octanes are not for not necessarily for hooking up. You can hook up with anybody, um,
Mhm.
but how your hookups play out and how your relationships play out is based on class. Because octanes are just class levels. You know, I named it that because it's easier for people to actually understand levels by using gasoline. I
Right.
used to use it for my fiance. Good God, it's got to be in the 80s. So this is talking about about 20s, well, longer than that, 30 some years ago.
Jeez.
So she was what I call a climber. She would be like if insecure was a real life, she'd be like a Molly. She's a
Hmm.
climber. Come from the coming from the ghetto or the neighborhood and to be in the professional ranks. You know, to going to school and all that kind of stuff. So
Huh.
yeah, she's a
Yeah.
climber.
Yeah. Because we talked about this before, and it was pretty much designed to identify who you spend a long time with. Correct.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The qualities you picked for a mate. Yeah,
Yeah. Aissata said octane scale changed his life.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It depends on because I actually designed it for because I have two systems, right? One is one is the three levels of relationships. I designed that for women to identify where they stood as far as the relationship level, right? Whether you jump off a girlfriend or a wife, okay, and how
Hmm.
to identify how men actually see you, right? And the octanes are designed for men. How do you pick a woman by class?
Right.
And class doesn't mean that I'm one class and you're another. One's better than the other. Okay, all classes have attributes. Okay,
Right.
that are different, and according to what you need, then then you would pick a different class. So one's not better than the other, in my opinion. Well, even though it's a hierarchy by class, but one's not better than the other. We just went over that with Devon Franklin
Right.
and and Megan Good. Okay, even though they seem similar, no, they're in two different classes, and it kind of played out like that.
So break that down. Like what's his name? Devon Franklin. Is he a 92 or
He's a
was?
90. He's a corporate 92. He might be considered what a mid-level 92, which I call masters of the universe. Right?
Uh,
He's in corporate. He's very successful. He makes a lot of money. He's a bit of a mover and shaker inside the corporate level, but he guess what he doesn't have? He doesn't have notoriety. He doesn't have fame, and he doesn't have the same kind of status. Right?
hmm.
So if Devon Franklin walked down the street in jeans and a t-shirt, you would not even know who he was. Okay,
Hmm.
but you put him alongside Megan Good, you're gonna recognize him.
Now, it was. I mean, I know she makes the money and has the status, but would she be a 92 or
No,
just a
she's
high?
100. She's 100 octane. Guess
She's a
because
hundred.
she's an entertainer.
Okay.
She's well known. Okay, she's got fame. Okay, and she's got the status of that goes along with the fame, and also and then on top of that she makes a lot of money. So those three things give her 100 octane. Kim Kardashian is 100 octane. Okay, so she's gonna get with guys that have the same kind of wealth, fame, and status that she does.
So 100 octane is not most likely not going to submit to a 90 92.
Um, They can, but the thing is that they run in two different tracks. Can
Mm,
she submit to a 92? If the guy's got enough money, sure, she can submit. But her friends and her network are different than from his friends and his network.
man,
Yeah,
wow.
I mean, you've been around because you've been around very famous people, right?
Yes,
And you've been around corporate people, right?
yes, sir.
Two very different crowds because you can have say like a high 92 would be like your mom's friends, right? They're
Mm,
politics, they're movers and shakers, they make a lot of money, okay?
right.
But their crowd is very different from the entertainment crowd.
Okay. Yeah, because
Very
they
different.
now the entertainment crowds would be like your producers and executives.
They can be your producers, your executives, uh, the ones that actually work, hands on with that kind of stuff, right? Usually producers, executives. It depends on how well known they are. It makes a difference, but it's really the actors, the musicians, the athletes, and those kind of folks. Those the
Okay,
forward facing people.
but not just it's not just only the people behind the scenes, but the actual people that are actually doing.
Yeah, they're really running those crowds because you can have the grips and the cameramen and stuff like that. They don't run in the same crowd. They're associated, but they don't run in the same crowd.
Wow. Okay. And give some shout outs to we got yeah. Yeah, we're gonna bring the lady. Come on, ladies, where are y'all? Giagami, appreciate you super chat. Yeah, I'm Rick James. We got Brotherly Love, appreciate you super chat. Yeah, I'm Rick James.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, finish.
Yeah, I'm Rick James. Cash App. Go ahead, brother BTS.
No, no, yeah, no. I'm just waiting for you to finish.
Oh, yeah, we let me see. I guess we'll just move on and the ladies will come in later there because I know they want to add some things based on what they're listening or hearing.
Okay.
Well, you know what? I think because probably that was the other thing too. I think we might have to try to go over the system as well, as far as from 85 to 100 for those
Uh
people that are late to the party, because they probably wouldn't know
huh.
where they really.
I don't know how in depth you want to actually get into this, but you know.
Probably the disco version, but not the full album. Something because some people are like man,
I can go over because I can run through the types if you want because I have an outline. I don't know how in depth you actually want to get into into the outline.
yeah, I
If
just
Fitness Mom,
because
Fitness Mom knows what I'm talking about because she's heard me talk about this many times.
so we have the 85, the 87,
Yeah.
89.
Okay. Okay. The class levels, male and female, right, are 85, which is the lowest class, right? These are I call this the survival class. Normally, the lowest class will either or actually street level, right? Either for the guys, they're either street level or doing something to where they're kind of do stuff that's off the books. For the women, women are normally on subsistence like Section 8, welfare. They get food stamps. They that kind of stuff, right? Normally they have either a high school diploma or maybe a GED. They're not very well educated, and they're used to being in that atmosphere where survival. So they're used to being with dudes that may or may not sell drugs or have a hustle, or they play the state as a hustle. They live in lower class neighborhoods, projects, stuff like that. Those are 85s. Those are what I call the survival level people. If that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, tell me that it doesn't make sense.
That's Pukina and
Yeah,
Irena.
what are the names I give these people? Hold on, I could actually show you the
Uh,
common names for them. Basically, ghetto. What is it? Ghetto girl. I gave it the ghetto girl. I gave it um, called it the basic girl. Uh, what call it the hood chick, and I forget. There's several names that I gave them, and also the county girl or the
Okay.
welfare queen.
Okay. You
Yeah.
guys
So
give me. Hope everybody's getting this down out there.
those are the what I those just kind of common names I call characters that are in this particular class, which is probably a little deeper than we probably want to go. But those are the basic names. The ghetto girl I call the ghetto girl I call them the climbers, right? The chicks are trying to get out of the hood. They're in it but not of it, or they don't want to stay there.
Uh huh.
So they're trying to move up in class, either working class or higher, through education or getting themselves a job. They're trying to get off the county and get out of the hood, get them a little house, get them a husband, and get get up out of that condition. Those are the ghetto girls. And then you have people like the county girl, the welfare queen. Their hustle is getting a check. Whether it's having kids, whether it's getting a Section 8. They actually play on the system.
Okay.
So those are like two examples of what you find as an 85 woman. Okay.
Okay.
And you want to go to the next level, or
Yeah,
you got
sure.
a kind of an idea of what I'm talking about? If it's
Ladies,
not
you're. Go
if it's
ahead.
not clear, let me know because it can't. Depending on how deep you go, it can get complex.
Okay. Ladies, y'all understand the 85?
Yes, I understand all the octane levels.
Yeah, well, Fitness Mom does because she's part of my BGS for Women. I actually went over it.
Okay. All right. So what is the next one?
The 87 makes up the bulk of all people. I call this the working class. So
Okay.
87 octanes are the working class, and I say the 87 have the biggest group of wives because most people are working class, right?
Uh-huh.
The lower class maybe have the lower 10%. Um, the upper classes, which is 89 and above, probably the 10 to 15%. So a good 75% of the women or people, period, are in this what I call working class, from a poorer working class or upper working class, which is like truck drivers, nurses, people. Nurses are kind of quasi 87s, but anybody that has to punch a clock and do a job, right? Those are what I call 87s, working class people. Even wives that are women are actually married to truck drivers or pipe fitters or something like that. Those are working class wives.
Okay.
They may have a high school education, maybe 1 or 2 years of community college, and that's probably pretty much it. And they're um, I call them blue collar women. I call them uh, there's a basic girl, there's a basic wife, uh, and the attributes of a blue collar wife or 87 working class wife is okay. She depends on security, right? Her husband is going to come in and provide, get her a house or maybe a condo. She's going to have 2 or 3 kids, and her thing is my bills are paid. I got food in the refrigerator. I can throw a cookout or two, 2 or 3 times a year. Um, I get enjoy my holidays and maybe take a vacation once a year. And if they do that, they're good. They're not interested in anything higher than that. Their basic thing is I want security. That's their mantra for being an 87 wife. They don't want to take risk on buy or trying to buy a business or going to business or going to stocks or trying to be wealthy. They don't need the spiral staircase. Give me a 3 bedroom house in a decent neighborhood where there's not too much crime, and my bills are paid, and they're happy. So that's
Okay.
the qualities of an 87 wife. And
And
remember, these are characteristics um, that for men, because I built this system for men. What kind of characteristics do you want? Uh, the positives and negatives, and and you pick from the classes because they all have different characteristics. Okay, and positive and negative. And some things can be positive, some things can be negative, depending on what you want.
okay. All right, so we got that out there in the chat. I hope y'all taking notes.
Yeah.
And in between, we have Sister Aissata come in. We have Sister
Mm-hmm.
Shonda, and we got the great fitness mom.
Yeah. If I say something that's not clear, because we kind of, you know, kind of, Fitness Mom's been around me a long time, so she's heard this many times. In fact, she's asked me a lot of questions about the octanes and stuff like that. So she probably knows it probably as well as probably anybody.
So we're going to get into what's it, the 89 now?
Oh, 89. Okay, the 89s are what I call just like 89 gasoline.
Uh,
Yeah, it's like what they call it mid grade, and it's better than the standard octane, right? Which is 87 octane is probably like 85, damn near 90% of cars, right?
hmm
And then you have the and 89 is like between the 92 octane high octane and the standard octane, right? And 89s can go either way. If you need something a little bit more boost, um, in your tank, then you normally take 87 octane or 87 gas in your tank. You put 89 in to give a little bit more octane to kind of clean out your valves and stuff like that, right? It's a little bit more kick, but but it doesn't cost as much as the higher level, because any 92s is a waste for a regular car. Okay, you're spending money for nothing. Okay. So 89s are mid level. So 89s are mid level because they can actually go up or they can go down, and that's how come 89s are tricky. And if you get cause 89s are normally women that have a bachelor's degree, right?
hmm
And they could be corporate, they could be educated, they could be a whole lot of things, right? But they don't, for whatever reason, either they don't like the lifestyle or they don't want to work as hard, so they'll actually drop back down. Like if you actually watch Insecure, Issa Rae's in '89, or she was in '89 before the end of the series, right?
Right.
She had all these corporate friends who are trying to get her better jobs, right? But she refuses. No, I don't want to go into law. I don't want this kind of job because I want to stay nonprofit, because she didn't want to go in the corporate world. So she stayed. So she always had low-paying jobs,
Mm.
because she didn't. Because even though she had because if we find out she went to Stanford, what's she doing with her Stanford education, right? Why are you making $30,000 a year and you went to
Right.
Stanford? It doesn't make sense. Why are
Right.
you Why are you a manager for an apartment building and you went to Stanford? It doesn't make sense, right? You have all this great education, but since you don't want to go into that lifestyle, even though you're capable, you choose something else. And 89s are like that quasi level people, like it's almost like a failure to launch kind of person. Either they stay stuck in the middle or they drop down, or if they decide to change, they move up. So 89s are what I call stuck. They're stuck in a lifestyle that they're capable of doing better, but they don't want to, and they're a little bit too educated to be just a regular girl. And so 89s, uh, a lot of your what they call bohemians. You know
hmm
what a bohemian is, right?
Oh yeah.
I'm sure you've been around bohemians. Very well, very knowledgeable, very educated, but they don't go into corporate world. They have non how can I say uh, uh,
They don't have.
unusual occupations where they earn just enough money to survive, but not enough money to get rich.
That's
You know.
Angela Means. You heard of her? That's the
Ah,
that's the comedian
okay,
that made a lot of money from Fridays and other
okay,
shows.
uh-huh,
But she's selling jackfruit. But she got a master's.
yeah.
She's
Yeah,
selling
those,
jack.
she lives a bohemian lifestyle, which is like
Right.
being a free spirit. They don't want to be tied down to their corporate structure where they have to, we have all these responsibilities, and they have to work these amount of hours, and they have to be put on a success track. They don't want that. So those are your 89s, and 89s. 89s feel a void, which is kind of funny for a regular working class guy. Okay, 89s are good because they're educated. Okay, they're not too demanding. Okay, they're fairly content. So say if I was a truck driver, right, and I want educated kids, I would pick an 89. Okay, because she's not out there trying to bust her ass for 80 hours a week trying to on a corporate job, but she's at home, but she's got a bachelor's or a master's degree, so she's capable of actually teaching my kids and raising kids to be masters, PhDs, whatever, because she's got the education for it. She's capable, but she doesn't use it. So, but she's capable enough to actually you can actually take advantage of what she knows. And plus, she's also in contact with the people that she went to school with. So she's got a Rolodex. So if you need something, okay, say you need insurance, or they say you need a lawyer, or say you need something. Oh, I know who to call. Call my girlfriend because she works at this law firm, and she's a lawyer. She graduated from law school, and I can ask her a question or two. Okay, so
Mm.
they kind of straddle both worlds. So there's a reason to have an 89. The thing is that you have to make sure that the 89 is on your how can I say it? Your 89 is actually on your mission. She's actually on board to what you want to do to your program. She's on board with your program. Because the problem with the 89 is that if she flips a switch and you're 87 guy, right, all of a sudden she wants to go to the corporate world, you don't fit no more. And that's when a divorce can happen. So you got to be really careful when you pick an 89.
We
Same
gonna
thing
get
with women picking an 89 guy.
we gonna really get into that big time.
Okay. Yeah.
Everybody, uh
What? Is everybody with me so far as far as explaining it?
ladies, and people in the chat too. I hope you guys paying attention there. Turn the blender off. Let's see. Okay, so I guess we by the silence, we're assuming they're nodding their heads.
Okay. Yeah. If it's unclear, I know Fitness Mom's heard this before, but if it's unclear, let me know so I can either slow down or explain something.
Okay, so now we have the 92s.
The 92s or the corporate women, right? Basically, these are the women that have bachelor's and above. They work in a corporate structure. They could be anywhere from a mogul, a business mogul, all the way down to a law clerk or a social worker, that a psychologist, a nurse practitioner. There's lots of different corporate structures where a 92 can fit in. But the thing is, they're locked into a corporate hierarchy.
Hmm.
So you can even work for. It depends on, even for the government. Say you work for, say women that work for an IRS, right? You can be a line worker, or you can be in management, or you can be a case worker. Okay, for a case worker, somebody like that that's higher up, they need a degree. Okay, they need a degree. They need to understand enough about the law and enough about the corporate structure to actually do their job. So that's what 92s. That's where 92s would start, right? The next level up is the 92s that make $300,000, like multi-level marketing or um, sell insurance, selling real estate, where they're locked into a corporate structure where they make a hell of a lot of money. They deal with professional people. They mix with professional people, bankers, uh, real estate developers, that kind of stuff. And then you have the what I call the women that are wives of the masters of the universe, right? The wives of CEOs, where they have to go to black tie events. They have to mingle with the mayor. They have to mingle with the city councilman. They have to mingle with higher level groups. Okay, because that's their job to the man that they're attached to. And 92s are not really. I wouldn't call them wives. They're more like partners.
Ooh, okay.
And they're 92s, especially for upperly mobile guy. They're there to help you complete your mission. Whether you want to go to business, whether you want a real estate developer, whether you want to get into banking, whether you want financing for a business, whether you need contracts, stuff like that. That's what you need a 92 for, because she's used to being in that crowd. She's used to networking. She has your vision about, whether it's getting rich, starting a business. Or you can get the 92s that are into a nonprofit, okay, where they have to interact uh, with uh, with politicians in the nonprofit world. So basically, they're there as your partner to actually um, complete your mission, or actually push your mission along. And the thing about 92s, they're really impatient because they're ambitious, and that's what separates the 89 from the 92, right? Most 92s are very ambitious. Okay, they want the spiral staircase, they want the 6 bedroom house out in the suburbs, right? They want to drive the BMW and up. Okay, they want the lifestyle. They want that comfort. They want to be able to fly to, take their vacations instead of flying to Jamaica, or flying to the Bahamas. They want to fly to the south of France. They want to go to Thailand, and they want to go to Hong Kong and do business. Uh, in other words, they're a lot more global. They're the next level up, if that makes sense.
So like we have like Hillary Clinton. Uh,
Hillary Clinton. What I call Hillary Clinton is the next level up. Okay, for a man of what I call the global elite. Okay, like Jay Bones is, Jay. One day you have Jay Bones on if he wants to tell his story. Okay, like Jay Bones, he's told his story before. Okay, Jay Bones is a what I call a 92 octane global elite, right? He's from Ghana. He went to Princeton. He graduated from Notre Dame. Okay, he banks in the Bahamas. He does business on the continent. He does business in Europe. Does business in the United States. Okay, they're the next level up. So Hillary Clinton, what's our vice president's name? Kamala Harris, and people in that ilk, in that circle, deal with global elite. That's the next level up, and that's as close as you're going to get to 100 octane without going over.
okay, and then Michelle Obama too.
Michelle Obama too.
Okay, so you guys get that too. Anybody out there? Anybody want to comment on this particular octane before we move up? Because this the last one, right? The 100.
The 92s don't necessarily have to work. That's the thing is how you judge a 92 octane basically is she corporate, and if she doesn't work, who's she married to?
Okay.
And 92s, they don't have to be work to be ambitious. But trust and believe, if you're married to a 92 octane and you're working a regular job, you're going to catch hell. You're going to catch hell
Yeah, that's a
because
lot
she's
of
not living
pressure.
the lifestyle that she wants. In fact, a lot of women on Kevin Samuel's show that show up, they're looking to be a 92 octane. They want a high value guy that give them a high value lifestyle.
Okay.
If the ladies disagree, they can chime in and we can talk about it. But I'm just giving the overview.
I'm waiting on them if they have some kind of
I,
thing to add
I,
on.
I, I hope they're not. I hope they're not rolling their neck and their eyes at the same time, man, in the background in silence.
Well, one thing I like to say, because if people ask what's a 92 wife, and the show Girlfriends actually has a perfect example of a 92 wife. Her
Mhm.
name was the guy, the lawyer, Charles Dent. He married
Mhm.
Monica Dent, and Monica was a
Mhm.
92 octane on the show
Well.
Girlfriends, and she was a 92 octane wife. And through his marriage with her, he actually became a partner at the law firm that he was working
Mhm.
at because of all
Mhm.
the things that she did to move him up. And he
Mhm.
was fighting at first, but I mean, because the girls that were on the show, the girlfriends, the other
Mhm.
character, they were holding him back. They were, like she said, they were keeping him like their little boy toy or whatever. But
Right.
his wife, the girl he married,
Mhm.
made it that he became a partner, and she
Mhm.
was working the crowd. Like Monica on Girlfriends, that's a
Mhm.
92 wife.
That's a 92 wife. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good example. And she even said, even when he was trying to give up, I think she was like, "No, you're going to get this because I put in too much work for this."
Too
Remember
much. Exactly. Yep.
that?
Yep. Yep.
It was something that he was giving up. I forgot what it was. She was like, "No, you're not."
No, you're not. That's what she's there for. Exactly. That's a 92 wife.
Yeah,
She's
that's
ambitious. She's ambitious in a different way.
yeah. That's my type of chocolate sister, by the way, y'all. She's bad. Oof.
That's your mom, right?
Yeah, they kind of favor a little bit, but
I
see,
mean, I'm not talking about looks. I'm
my
going to
mom.
talk
Oh, as
the,
far as
the
the actual,
yeah,
yeah,
how she works.
my mom was ambitious because remember she was married to a political consultant, so she was always making sure that all the things that he put together. She was behind it, making the phone calls,
Yeah. Yep.
uh, making sure that certain events, certain
Yep.
tickets were sold.
Yep.
Certain people weren't invited. She made
Yep.
sure, that, hey, they're not allowed in here. That was
Yep.
her.
It was her. Yeah. That's a
Like in
92
one
wife.
scene, one episode, she was like, "These are the people, the names and pictures of the men that you need to meet at this party." I
Yeah,
mean,
Mm-hmm.
because they will push you to get into the face of the people that you need to meet to advance your career and stuff like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
Adoma, because Monica didn't work, and it's a couple of women that were 92 wives that didn't work, but even though
Yeah.
they didn't work, you could still see them pushing their husbands forward and helping, well, assisting their husbands to get into a right spot. That's what a 92, even though if she doesn't work, she'll still do that.
yeah.
Yep.
That's all I work around is 92. That's all I work around. I mean, that's it. As far as business or what have you,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
has to
Yeah.
be
Well,
90.
you. Not, yeah. Well, you a sorority, not sorority, a fraternity guy,
Yeah,
and that's you actually social. You come from your mom was that way, so yeah.
yeah.
But you didn't marry in 92 though.
No,
Second time around.
sir.
Yeah.
I can't marry 92. I'm sorry.
That's the crux. That's why you pick them by attributes, not because of what they are, right?
Right.
Not because you might be a 92, but you don't need the attributes of a 92.
Yeah, I don't feel like competing in the house. Sorry.
That's the issue. Yeah, that's because you want a wife and not a partner.
Yeah, because I think
Yeah,
it's hard for them to turn that off when they get home.
it is. It's impossible for them to turn it off. That's why you pick them that way.
Oh yeah,
You don't want them to turn it off.
yeah. Because me and Charles talk about this all the time.
Yeah,
Um, and the people out there, I know we got 90. Please hit the likes and
hit the likes. If you think that what I'm saying is valuable, please donate to the channel because I'm taking a Sunday, okay, to do this, and this is more like almost like a seminar rather than a discussion. So if you like what you're hearing, you're gonna learn something. I say $1 holler. The dollar's not gonna hurt you.
and shout out to J Bones for the 99 cents.
Oh, the 99 cent. Yeah, J Bones is an interesting case, and J Bones is what I call a global elite. I have like God, I must have at least 20 guys that are subs of mine that contact me that actually fall into their global elite uh, from um, from Ivy League or near Ivy League schools, and they verify everything that I'm saying. Jay Bones can tell you what I'm saying is on the mark.
Oh yeah, I, I listened to him on Roger Report,
Hmm.
so he's pretty solid, pretty
Oh
solid.
yeah, he's solid. I can't call him out, but I got quite a few. In fact, I got, you know, well, the forward facing ones that everybody knows, which are the PhDs, right? They're obviously 92s, and those are the ones that everybody can see. But I got a whole bunch of guys that don't show their face, or they comment, they hide their identity, but they contact me all the time.
Oh yeah, yeah. That stuff is very key.
Hmm.
And shout out to 3000 GT Atlanta for the super sticker. Is it coming up? Yeah, I'm Rick James.
Yeah, yeah. Adrian's another one uh, that uh, that knows what I'm talking about. He's heard my full seminar. So
He said
so
he said shout out to the
all the 89s and 92s. Yeah.
yeah, I'm Rick James. Then we got D Scott. What is D Scott said a 92 got me back into photography and was it
Publishing.
publishing? Yeah.
Yeah. That's what they're there for.
Oh man, so yeah, we didn't even start the questions yet. So
Oh
hopefully,
well, yeah. That's just the overview. Let's hit the last one, and then we'll start the overview because there's a male side and female side. We're dealing with the female side today
yes, I hope
because
people. Mhm.
because we don't want to do a 4-hour seminar.
Right. I just want people to buckle up because it's going to be a ride up in here. So 109 octanes,
Basically, those your entertainers, your entertainer females, right, that have wealth and fame, right, and also either either are uh, married to, girlfriends with, or deal with in the 100 octane class. And women that are in the 100 octane class, um, Uh, One had to be accepted into that class. Okay. Um, and date the guys. You have to actually date guys that are in that class. You can be famous, like K Michelle, right?
Hmm.
K Michelle is famous. She got wealth and fame and all that kind of stuff. But guess what? She cannot lock down a guy at that level. Same thing with Megan Thee Stallion, right? Everybody
Uh-huh.
knows who she is. She makes a lot of money, but she cannot lock down a guy at that level. And to be a 100 octane woman, you have to lock down a guy in that class. Okay, you have to be able to either date him consistently, and or either that or marry them. Okay, and if you can't do that, then you're not a 100 octane woman. So you can take a chick that's an IG model, like Brittany Renner, right?
Hmm.
She's basically a trailer park girl, right? Good
Right.
looking, but she's educated, but she's a trailer park girl. She's in her grandmother's basement, uh, IG. But look who she dates. She dates actors. She dates athletes, and that's what makes her an octane 100 octane girl, because she can consistently pull those kind of guys in. And the biggest thing about this is a 1 octane that depends on how you look. If you're a woman, okay, you have to be an 8 or above. If you're not an 8 or above, you're not gonna pull that chick, pull that guy, right? So K Michelle um, doesn't qualify for a guy that's 100 octane. That's how come nobody's ever picked her. What was the other chick? Was it B Simone? The kind of the comedian, uh, the comedian that complained about getting a guy. I think it was B
It
Simone.
might have been her.
I
Yeah.
think so. And she wanted a guy. She wants the kind of guy that she works around, right? Which is the 100 octane guys, which is the entertainers and that kind of stuff. But she's not pretty enough to pull them. She's not pretty enough to date them, so she can't be 100 octane. This is the one class for a woman. It's for a woman that you have to be pretty enough and good looking enough to actually qualify. So, and you don't have to have an education. You don't have to have a job. You don't have to have a particular class that you fit in. A 100 octane woman can come from any class as long as she's in the top. I would say at least 10% of females, as far as looks and beauty. If you're not that, you're probably not going to get picked. I don't care. You can be Oprah and have $1 billion, right? But Oprah's not a 100 octane woman because there's no guy at that level that's actually going to pick her. She can't date those guys, even though she works with billionaires, with entertainers and actors and musicians. You know, the lowest musician is not going to date Oprah.
Mm.
She don't look good enough. This is a one class where beauty, where looks and beauty actually matter. And
So
100 octane.
it would have to matter to the man, but it doesn't have to matter to a woman.
Um, well, the thing is, the qualifications for a 100 octane guy are different than a 100 octane woman.
Uh oh. That's another can of worms.
You can be Kodak Black and be ugly as sin. But if you're famous and you make a lot of money and people know
Hmm.
who you are, then Kodak Black is not going to pick a woman that looks like him. He's not. I don't care how smart she is.
So what would make a man 100 octane for a woman if it was Oprah? Did you say there had to be a boy toy? I mean,
Who
is that Stedman?
Stedman is somebody that she bought. Okay,
Uh huh.
basically. The biggest I designed this for men, right? What are the characteristics that men are going to want out of a wife? And that's because it's actually a male centered philosophy.
Okay.
Now, it does have a reverse side, but it's basically a male centered philosophy. As far as women, who is going to pick you as a wife? What kind of guy is going to pick you as a wife? And uh, determine that will ultimately determine what your class is. Now, you can have characteristics that make you more suitable for a guy at a certain level. But the thing is, ultimately, what kind of guy picks you, that's going to determine what class you are as a wife.
Okay. You guys got that? Oh, I'm sorry. I went down to 92. And shout out to J Bones for the super chat again. Yeah, I'm Rick Finn. You made him come up $2, man. So you know that on
Well, me and Jay Bones have had a talk, and he's verified. These guys actually verify what I'm talking about at all levels. Okay, not 100 octane on down. Like Shannon actually verified. Remember how Shannon Rawls has his producer friends on from Hollywood,
Hmm.
and they work for Sony and uh, all these production companies. Uh, they'll tell you the exact same thing that I'm saying. The exact same thing that I'm saying. In fact, down to the point where after for a 100 octane chick, a 100 octane woman, I call them my chicks, but 100 octane chick, okay, if she gets up into her 30s, she can't lock down her husband, she's gonna have to go down because what's gonna happen to 100 octane guys? They're gonna get the up and coming chippies. Because a woman's looks and beauty actually peaks at 19. That's where
Okay.
peak. She levels off in but between 19 and 26, and she starts to dip when from 26 on.
Oh, so there's a time limit. Okay.
Well, because what are women valued for ultimately?
Their looks.
But it's three things, right?
Hmm.
Looks, youth, looks, which is beauty, and fertility. Those are three things that women are actually judged upon as far as men are concerned. Those are the top three things,
Mm.
and everything else comes behind that, right? And so when a woman is normally, with some exceptions, there's late bloomers, right? Normally, a woman peaks at like 19 or 20.
Okay, y'all getting this down? I know all
Yeah.
these 40-year-olds like,
No, well, as you dip, then you have to make other decisions, and also where your dip, your dip depends on where you started, right? Like Nicole Murphy, right? Nicole Murphy started off as an Uber 10, right? So even though she dips, she's gonna dip as she gets older, right? She doesn't, because she started at such a high level, she can still attract guys at a certain level because she started off as Uber 10. So based by the time she gets to be in her 50s, she's still what, a 7.5 or 8. Now
damn. Yeah.
physically it's a different story, but as far as looks is concerned, she's still a 7.5 or 8. She doesn't look as good as she did when she was in her 19 or 20. She can't. Okay, but thing is, because she started at such a high level, her slope is going to be different.
No man. And I'm wondering how because we talked about her like 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's my go-to 10. If
I
you
wonder
put
how she
it,
is now.
um, she would still be considered like a 7 or 8 because she
Okay.
was wasn't she messing with the director Fuqua.
Pourquoi? Yeah. While
Yeah,
he was married. So
yeah. Why he's married? So she can be in her 50s and attract a guy who can get a chick in her 20s.
man.
So she's the thing is where you start. Where you start. Uh, and how you take care of yourself determines what you can attract as you go down. As you hit that slope. Men are the same thing. If you take care of your body, don't get a dead bod. You can actually slow that. Even out that slope and slow it down. You can't stop it, but you actually slow it down.
Okay.
Same thing. Same thing with Lisa Bonet. Same thing's going on with Lisa Bonet and Jason Momoa.
So so that was a wall hidden adventure that she
Oh
went.
yeah, well she hit the
Same thing
wall a
with
while
Lisa
back,
Bonet. Same
but
thing's going on with Lisa Bonet and Jason Momoa.
okay. I
So
think Shonda's
so
listening.
that was a
You got
wall.
to turn off YouTube, Shonda.
Oh yeah, well she hit the wall a while back. Shonda. Okay, got you.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, brother BJ.
Yeah, I was just saying. I've given what I call 100 octane failures. Right, I always do that for the guys to show exactly once you pass 30. Um, she lucked up because Jason Momoa was relatively unknown for the most part, and two, um, he had a
The
crush on
crush
her.
on her.
So I have a question, if I may.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
DGS, when you mentioned that and good evening to you, Art, and Pamela and everybody in the chat. When you mentioned that in regards to women that peak at age 19, what would you consider a late bloomer's age for a female?
Uh, okay, well, you get feedback from me, but I would say late bloomer. My late bloomers, I would say, depending on how she's built. Because say you take a tall, skinny girl, and that's going to get heavier as she ages, she will probably fill out right around, I would say, 26, 27. I actually used to look for late bloomers. Um,
The whole family is not but late bloomers, and it's around 25, 26 we
yeah,
start wait on.
yeah. They start getting their hips and their breasts and stuff like that. Those are what I call late bloomers.
Hmm. So we got an understanding on the one. Oh, and shout out to Greg DMV for the Cash App. Yeah, I'm Rick James.
Does that make sense to you, Shonda?
It does. I was just curious because I didn't agree with the 19 peak, but you answered my
Uh,
question.
I mean, that okay. Actually, had what's his name? Chicago Gorilla actually disagreed with me about the peaks, right? And actually showed the OK Cupid study. Now, OK Cupid at the time had like 20 million users, right, and like 12 or 13 million men of all races and walks of life, ages, races, what do you call it, class levels, right? And basically, almost to a man, okay, they centered on 22. Yeah, the outliers were 23, but from age 18 to I think they said that the end I think was 58. They all centered on 22, and it's a you can actually go to you actually look it up. Okay, Cupid. I forget what the study was. Oh God, I wish I could pull it up for you. But the thing is, I did. I can't anticipate every question. But the thing is it's widely known that 1920 is peak because if you look at athletics, say you take tennis for instance, right? Take tennis for instance, okay? When do women actually take tennis, gymnastics, something physical, right? When do women versus men actually um, start coming into their careers? If you're a tennis guy, you don't really start your career till you're like at the earliest 20, whereas uh, Monica Seles or somebody else starts at 12 or 13. Okay, because women physically mature faster than men. They physically mature faster than men. A man is not fully grown physically until he's 30. I do mean physically. You can go look at weightlifting, track, sports, any sports, right? A man, if a man doesn't really mature until he's between the ages of like 28 and 31. That's when all your championships are won. If you look on teams that win championships, 98% of the time, if a basketball team, baseball team, football team, they have a lot of guys between the ages of 28 and 31 because you physically mature between those ages as far as a man. Women physically mature earlier, right? Most track runners, okay, sprinters, runners, gymnasts, female athletes, okay, they start a whole lot earlier, like 12, 13, 14 years old, and then they actually peak physically right around their right around 1920. If you look at Serena Williams, when did she win her first uh, championship? She was 16. Women peak earlier.
Hmm.
That's just a matter of physiology.
Okay. So
If
we.
if, if, if if you go to the modern world, there's a reason in outside of the Western world, 25 is considered old for women because at 25 you're actually throwing away at least half your fertility at 25. There's a reason for that.
Now has that age range shift a little bit since we're in?
It's it, it was one reason, and I'm probably going to get in trouble. I didn't want to, get this far into it. There's a reason that it shifted. The reason that it shifted because you've taken away the first quarter of a woman's fertility by wanting them to actually finish high school and be 18. All right. So to make up for that, they've actually added 5 years at the end. So instead of them being old or basically what we called mature at 25, they're mature at 30. That's a cultural shift. That's not a physiological shift because a woman at 30, basically she's got a 5 years left of her prime fertility. That's at the tail end of her prime fertility. And after 35, then there's all kinds sorts of problems that show up. There's a reason for that because a woman from the time a woman starts her period, like normally it's like what 13. I know women actually start their periods earlier these days because of the food. But thing is, woman starts her period at 13, right? That's when her eggs start dropping, right? And that's when the clock starts ticking. That's her first day of fertility when her period starts. Okay, and if you want to finish high school, she got to throw away 5 years of fertility. How do you add that back as far as value? Add it at the end.
Yeah, that's why you got a lot of middle school pregnant girls, huh?
Well, because they're fertile. Okay, in the what they call the ancient world, but with the third world or the non-Western world, right? Um, that's how come the age of consent for or age of marriage, the age of consent for the rest of the world is right around 14, 15, maybe 16, right? It's consistent. There's a reason for that because it lines up with her biology and not what we think culturally it should be. So that's a whole different rabbit hole I don't even want to go down.
Yeah, because we're American minded here, so
We're Western minded,
Western minded.
and we can go into arguments. I could pull up videos from Guatemala, Honduras, Latin America, Asia. And they actually prove exactly what I'm saying that they haven't been inundated by Western ideology, and in fact, I was actually showing a video about child brides in Guatemala. Okay, and the mother was saying, I said, okay, they get married young, like 15, 16 years old, because by 25 she's an old woman
Hmm.
in their culture. And same thing in Chinese called women past 25. They call them Christmas babies because they're considered old maids at 25. Back 100 years ago, old maids were considered. You were 26, 27. You considered an old maid because you hadn't been married yet. Now we culturally shifted that, even though your biology hasn't shifted. We actually culturally shifted that the ideals. But the thing is, you can't duck biology.
So hope we got that understanding out
Uh,
there. People that are out there, please hit the like
yeah,
button.
yeah, that's a different argument for a different day. I mean, if you got the science, you can actually if you have the science, you got the research to prove me wrong. Go ahead. But the thing is, I've looked at it. I've looked at it for many years. I've looked at it about what they've done, why they've done it, and why they're trying to change it. But the thing is, you can change the culture, but you can't change biology.
The thing about it is, as the way we are now, we
Mm-hmm.
have made it so that it is socially unacceptable to date below 18. But that
Yes.
is now. That is something that is relatively new
Mm-hmm.
to our specific culture and maybe a couple of others. But I mean, women have always been getting married at 13, 14, and 15 throughout
Mm-hmm.
time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And before we go on, we need the ladies to introduce themselves and let
Mm-hmm.
us know who are you and if you got a channel, if anything's coming up, or what do you want us to know. Let's start with the top here. Okay, I'll just call the names out. Because all right, go ahead, fitness mom.
What was it? Well, I'm fitness mom, or in the chat, I'm known as Aria. Um, let's see. What was the question?
Do you have a channel? What do you
No.
do? What do you want us to know?
Well, I spent 20 years as a stay-at-home wife, and now I do real estate. I sell houses, but I sort of does I do that part-time. Well, not really part-time, just when I feel like it, because it's not a way that I pay bills with. I like it though. It's actually quite fun.
And do you mind telling us? Because you don't have to answer, but do you mind telling us what Octane that you consider yourself based on what you just explained?
I was raised 85, 87, 87 mostly, but with 85, yes.
Okay. Um, All right. So the next one we have here on the list is Sister Shonda H. Could you let us know who you are, what you do, and if you even want to share your octane?
Ski wee.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Shonda H. I hail from the great state of Louisiana, and currently reside in the Gulf Coast. I'm a nurse practitioner. I don't have a channel, but I do collaborate with some fellow content creators within the manosphere as well as outside of the manosphere. As far as my octane level, I would consider myself an 89 to 92.
Why do you consider yourself an 89? If you don't mind me asking.
Well, I come from an educated family, but my family is not upper middle class, so that's why I put
I'm
myself
saying,
in the 89.
what's your job? And
I'm a nurse practitioner.
okay, you probably be a 92, closer to a 92, because you're just below a doctor. I always say, who are your five closest friends, and what do they do, and what are they professional or are they corporate, and who are they married to or date? That's what tell you, give you your octane. Because
It's some confusion with that because I
uh
didn't
huh,
start out as an MP. So according to your scale, I would be an 89. Being that I went back and got my degree, now I'm a 92. So that's
you're a
why I
92.
included both.
Okay, and you part of a sorority.
Yes, I am.
Okay, you're 92 because your sisters are probably 92. So you and your Fay group will usually tell you what your octane is
Well, this would probably
normally.
solve your question, BJS. Sister
Mm,
Shonda, are you active in the grad chapter?
Yes, I'm general.
92.
92. Yeah.
Right there. Okay.
Like you said early in the chat, an 89 would be someone like Lynn Searcy. She wasn't. She didn't take the time to join any kind of sororities, anything like that, and she sure wasn't going to take her time to go back and get a degree that she was actually going to work in. It
Yeah,
was more like for fun.
because your Fay group, your female hierarchy group, or your circle will actually push you. They're constantly pushing on you to do better because they want to pull you up, and it's very difficult to be in that kind of uh, female grouping without that kind of pressure. So normally 89s kind of avoid those kind of women, or just see them occasionally. They don't actually hang out with them. They're not really in her circle because the pressure to actually do better or actually become corporate is intense, especially for females.
Okay. And last, Sister Shonda, you want anything else to add?
Um, no, not that I can think of right now. I'm pretty sure I have something later on though.
Okay.
I mean, she agrees. Okay, so far, I'm doing good.
Man, I gotta get back active because those sorority grad chapters, there's some good paying customers. Man,
Yes, they are.
man, I mean all of them. And we got Sister Aissata Muhammad. What say you, sister? What tell us about yourself? What you want us to know?
She
Speaker
might have
problem.
moved away from the mic. Yeah.
Cause she has the she's off mute.
Okay.
She might have to
She
go
might
on
have
mute.
she might have moved away from the mic.
Asada.
Yeah. Well, she'll come back.
Okay.
Okay. You want to get we finished with the overview. You want to get into the questions
Hey,
or
we're gonna
what?
get into the question. Everybody got their question in the email. I'm assuming, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and everybody, please chime in this as well. Don't just let just one person take over it because we want everybody's input in this. That's why it was important for BGS to break it down as far as which is which. Maybe you know some situations, or you want to chime in based on what you heard. That's how these questions will be answered. So the first one would be, let's see if I'm not even sure if I can word these right, but here we go. What would Actanes do to keep a family together? Like, can you describe some methods? What methods based on 82? I mean, excuse me, 82, 85, 87, 89, 92, 100s. You know, you can pick any of them and give us some kind of idea. How would some of these octanes keep a family together.
Oh, number one, the families actually kept together by the relationship between the mother and the father, right? If they're
Uh-huh.
if they're if they're in sync, if they're in sync with the same mission, right? The family's fine. The rest will take care of itself.
Okay.
So if there's no kind of strife within the family, then the family would actually stay together. Kids will be fine. But the thing is, the biggest thing is the um, difference between the mother and the father. Say you have for instance, let's take a mismatch, right? Say you have an 87 guy, you have a 92 female, right?
Hmm.
And the 87 guy has potential, but he doesn't want to actually dedicate himself to be that ambitious, right? She's gonna constantly be on him, okay, about him not being able to uh, achieve a certain level. She probably want to push her kids a little harder than he wants. The kids being pushed in as far as school and say like he doesn't want to pay for private school,
Hmm.
okay, but say the 92 octane wants the kid to go to have a chance to go to Harvard or some kind of upscale college to have a better career, right? Their visions are actually different. So eventually, what's going to happen is one of the two is actually going to get tired of the other.
Hmm.
Her bugging him or him not being ambitious. Uh, she's gonna she's gonna look down upon him. She's gonna berate him. She's gonna get frustrated with him, and then he's gonna do one of the things that's gonna fight back, leave her. He's gonna cheat, or
Mm.
she's gonna do the exact same thing because there's a mismatch. And who's in between that struggle?
Wow.
The children,
So,
right?
mhm. So like like things are in disarray, right?
Mm-hmm.
You probably even got a friend or two that came in there and shook things up, like try
Mm-hmm.
to even spread rumors and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that, or even say that, hey, I saw your hubby or your wife cheating,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
I
So,
mean, that could happen. And plus, say for instance, you have a 92 octane female, right?
mhm,
And all her friends are corporate level women, right? And the first thing they're gonna say, you should never marry that guy. Okay,
mhm,
he's not for you. He doesn't belong in this. Never liked the guy. Okay, uh, um, even though she might love him, they can be giving her shit for that guy for the rest of her life, right?
mhm,
As long as she's married to him. So that's outside pressure on him, right? You need to get a man. I got a friend for you. He does this, that, and the third. How come you don't just leave this guy, take your kids, and go with this guy? You know,
mm,
or I agree with you about the private school, even though it costs a whole bunch of money. It's better for the progress of the family. Blah blah blah. Or he should have taken that business, or he should have invested in this stock, or whatever it is. They're gonna be putting pressure on her, right?
mhm,
Same thing with the 87 guy. So every time we come to your house and have a cookout, your wife is giving us the eye, like she's better than us.
mm,
And she talks about us. I know she talks about us behind our backs and stuff like that. And so when I open the door, get greeted in, we get that look, like, okay, you beneath us, and so that causes strife within the family. So a class mismatch will cause strife. Guess who's in between that class mismatch?
yeah, it would be an outsider.
It'd be an outsider. Yeah, I think you mentioned that about you had a student that had a chance to go to Pasadena for the arts.
The center.
An art center, right? Okay, a 92 octane, the educated 92 octane would actually see the value in sending to Pasadena the arts. Could actually a make an argument for that, right? But a
Hmm.
working class woman, she wants to girl to get a practical job, okay, because you don't see the value in art center or that kind of education. So there's a mismatch in that. So those are the kind of things that can actually cause a breakup of a family or strife within a family. If that makes sense. That makes sense. If that makes sense to you.
Oh, to me, ladies.
Yes.
Well, I know fitness mom is going to agree because we talked about this.
Yeah,
Okay,
she's on several nights on BGS for women, so she got to know.
well, she was she for the last 3 4 years she's been asking me about octanes and who fits and how do you change the octanes and this kind of stuff. So So she asked me a ton of questions.
Because I wanted to try to see whether or not if all of them had the same, that they approach it the same way, or if there are different ways. So, like, if you had somewhat of an 80 85, the one that pretty much
Ooh,
has,
that's pretty low. Yeah, it's pretty low.
compared to a 92, like,
Ooh.
what would the 85 do to keep the family together compared to a 92?
I don't think an 85 would try to keep a family together.
Break
Like,
that down for us, please. Uh
Go ahead,
oh.
fitness mom.
well, I mean, like, ugh. Well, 85 might try to keep her family together. I mean, it depends on the value that she sees in a man, but that's for all the women. And the way of keeping the families together would be more like what they feel is more in line of what they saw growing up or something like that. Like they might 85 to keep her family together. She might actually just find a side dude that is able to fulfill whatever her husband might be
Yeah,
lacking
she
or
might.
something like that.
She might.
This is a conversation I want to have. Yes.
I
Uh,
think I,
87
I think it's subjective. I'm sorry, fitness mom. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
No, go
I
ahead,
think
Shadi.
I
Weigh
think
in.
it's subjective. I mean, I understand the octane levels, but I maybe I'm interpreting it wrong, or maybe I have a different view in regards to all of these octane levels are subjective, and it's based on the person's experience as well as what they're looking for in the relationship, or who they're looking to pursue, or who's pursuing them. So if you have an 85 that may come from a disadvantaged background, but she grew up, or even a male, but we're talking about women, grew up in a family unit, then I wouldn't say that she's not apt to keep a family together because she came from a disadvantaged background. So I think that also needs to be explored in a discussion. All of this is very subjective, and we can't just subjugate people to um, certain stereotypes or certain categories without factoring their environment.
Well, the environment does create these characters. So you can't come from Beverly Hills and be an 85. Okay, very difficult to do that. So the environment that you grow up in, does determine what your class level. Okay, it does, and you can't get rid of the class attributes because you went down to the ghetto, right? You
I
can't.
understand that, BGS, but I'm going back on what you stated. There was a statement, or maybe someone else stated on the panel in regards to
Mm.
85 can't sustain a family. I don't believe
No,
that.
no, no. I didn't say
I say
that.
she
No, I never
can't. I
said
said
that.
she might not want
She
to.
said that. She might not want to. That's what she
I
said.
didn't say she
I
can't. I said she
apologize. I
might not
directed
want
that
to.
towards the wrong person, but
so let's
I disagree. I don't believe that.
let's get into that then. How would they be able to keep the family together if,
Oh, they do all the time.
like,
They're,
give it the other side of the
oh,
story.
there's poor people that keep their family together all the time. They've been married for 40 years. They grew up in the ghetto. They sometimes they grow up in the projects or a small apartment, and they raise their kids, and they stay together. We have people that grow up in hood all the time. So, um, can they
Jack
keep a family
said
together?
yes.
Sure, as long as the husband and the wife are closely matched, yeah, they can keep a family together. We see it all the time.
The reason why I say she might not want to is because if you're asking a question about why, how can they keep the family together, then that means that there's strife. You're presenting a situation where there's uh, a disconnect between the wife and the husband, and how
Yeah.
would they handle disconnect? So if someone is, raised 85, maybe they
Hmm.
had a crackhead mother or something like that,
Ooh, that's extreme. That's extreme. But go ahead.
and then see proper coping mechanisms, they might want their idea of dealing with strife might be to flee, hide, or something like that.
Well, basic addiction exists at all levels, right? The corporate guy that's an alcoholic and his family blows up.
Daddy.
So
Yeah.
that kind of stuff exists at all levels. That's the extreme side about dysfunction. But if dysfunction is in all class levels. How many 100 octane people, right? Entertainers, athletes blew up because they did drugs or they had addictions or they had psychosis or something like that. They just blew up and they became, they dropped out of that class level. You know,
So you look
rich
at
people that became poor. So that can happen at any level.
so you
We
look at
talk
Kobe.
about the general.
Remember when Kobe got caught with his hand in a cookie jar, so to speak.
Yes,
It wasn't
yes.
his hand, but but the story came out that he bought a very expensive ring, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
I'm assuming that this is a 100 octane situation.
Yes.
So he used money, whereas
Yes.
Act 85 couldn't do that.
Yeah,
So I'm
that's true.
trying to figure, like how do you determine the different methods, and then that's
Oh,
all.
in other words, okay, say if it's an 85 and you had she was married and she needed that guy to keep her family together, right?
Hmm.
If he got caught with his hand in the cookie jar, she'd have to look the other way, right? She might go beat up the girl as an 85, go beat her ass to give her satisfaction, but she's gonna keep her husband.
I used the
It
term
happens. It
crackhead
happens all the time.
mother because I was raised by a crackhead. So my mother was a crackhead. That's why I said someone who was raised
Oh
as
yeah,
a crackhead
yeah,
mother.
yeah. That's extreme because you have a lot of and Art can tell you because he actually lived through that era. There's a lot of people that had very good corporate jobs and had very nice houses and lost their houses and their families behind crack
Overnight.
overnight. Yeah, and this so it's not that has nothing to do with the class level.
Okay.
And a lot of your 100 octane, some of your 100 octane guys are actually high level drug dealers. They went to prison, so
Yeah.
they have wealth and fame in a different venue, but they still qualify as 100 octane.
It goes back to prohibition almost. The mafia.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, with the Kennedys, right?
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
People got to learn their history. Sister Aissata, Shonda, y'all want to chime in before the next question?
I'll let Asada go.
Can you hear me, Art?
Yes,
We
ma'am.
got you.
Yeah, I had to change devices. I couldn't. I guess you all couldn't hear me on that other one.
Mm-mm.
And can you guys state the question again for me?
Let's see. Based on what you heard, the descriptions of the octanes, you know, would you be able to pick out or do a compare and contrast on how some of the octanes would keep the family together? So, would you be able to give some examples of methods? Example, how would an 85 do it? How would a 89, 100 even? I'm
I'm
curious
not.
about the 100 though.
I,
If I 100 the woman
go
part.
ahead and finish. Go ahead.
I said I'm curious about the 100 woman. What would she do to try to keep that together? Go ahead.
She looked the other way.
Oh, okay.
Just like what's her name? Just Aisha Curry, right?
Ah,
She
okay.
she pissed off because he's got side chicks, three or four of them, right?
But now they have an open marriage. So what do you say to that?
What do I say to that? Basically, you had an open marriage since you got with the dude,
We just
and,
we
and if he wants to keep his family together, then you accept what comes with it. That's when Kevin says high value dudes have options. That's what they mean. You know how many girls you had to climb over to actually get that guy? Okay, that doesn't go away. You have to accept that fact that your guy's gonna have other women to be with him. That's what Sonia, Steph's wife, was trying to tell her. Okay, all the wealth, the fame, the houses, the money, and all the glitz and glamour that come along with the lifestyle. There's a price to be paid for actually being with that lifestyle, right? Um, my co-host in real life, you know the show I do in real life, right, Art?
yes, sir. Hmm.
My co-host, she's a real estate mogul. Okay, girl got to be worth at least what we say, Art, between $10 and $20 million,
I
at
give her
least.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I asked, and she's she's from New Orleans. You know, her family's from New Orleans. She's a damn near passe blanc, right? Really gorgeous girl. All right. I said, how come you never crossed over and actually became 100 octane, right? And she says she didn't want to put up with the stuff that the 100 octane guys do because they're open with it. Okay, I got all these girls chasing me. I got groupies chasing me, and I'm when I'm on the road, I'm gonna dabble. And you got to be. Are you good with that? If you're good with that, you can actually be welcome aboard. If you're not, then okay, I'm not the guy for you.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that comes with the package, and that's how come Aisha Curry was actually blowing up. The thing is, can she dip? Can she do that kind of stuff? She can, but she has to not make it public.
So if it
That's
don't
the
work out, just sleep with his college roommate's friend.
You can do that, but thing is, if you want to, there's certain things that you lines you can't cross because he could just as easily sleep with your college roommate friend because you know your girls are looking at him, and you know your girls are looking at to take your spot. So let's not get it twisted. Okay.
I was joking about the mom, but
I I
Oh
think
yeah.
a better example of that would be Antoine Fuqua and Layla Rashawn. I don't consider, and I'm not trying to be contrary, but I don't consider Aisha Curry and Steph Curry a good example because it's obvious that she's insecure towards her husband. So she's not looking the other way, in my opinion, if they now are in an open relationship. If it didn't bother her, then why is she trying to seek attention before that came out?
She
So
she,
you
she
have you have these women that are married to
hmm
these high level men that
hmm
are, top level doctors, lawyers, executives in the
hmm
entertainment industry, and they pick or they choose select women that are going to go along with their program and not
Yes.
buck the system. I
Yes.
see Aisha Curry bucking the system, so that's not turning the other eye.
no,
The
that's
thing
her
is,
that's her way.
the thing is her way of coping. The thing is, did she divorce him?
Well, that's yet to be seen, but
No, no,
she's
no,
causing
no,
hell
no,
in the house. So how is
no,
that
no,
being down with his
no, no.
program?
Did
Make that
she,
make sense.
she can divorce him at any time? Did she divorce him?
She didn't divorce him, but she's not going along with his program.
She
According
is
to your
she
scale,
is going along with his
according to
program.
your scale, if she's turning the other way and he's going to have all these other women because he has access that comes along with the territory,
She,
then go be a wife and do your thing and shut up. But that's
she
not what
will
she's displaying. Whether I agree with it or not, she's not displaying that.
in other words, basically, she's accepting that he's going to do it. If she didn't want to accept that he's going to do it, she would divorce him.
I think the problem that you're getting stuck on is BGS never said that the women are faithful when they turn the other cheek because BGS believes that most women are,
Cheat anyway. Yeah.
just cheat anyway. So he automatically writes off as women that's, going to cheat anyway. So
Has Aisha Curry brought her beau or her open marriage? In fact, she just came. She just actually came out 2 days ago, saying that she's not in open marriage publicly.
It wasn't too long ago.
Yeah,
Of
two
course,
days
she
ago.
don't say that
She
because
actually,
she don't want to mess up the bread. But I mean, it for me, I can only speak for Shonda. It was a problem when she did that red table talk and she made that statement, knowing
she
that
did.
she was a married woman and the type
Yeah,
of athlete
yeah,
that her
she
husband
did.
was. That was totally
Yeah,
inappropriate.
and
You can
and
think that way, but you don't put that out in in the atmosphere.
and
But
all
whether
the other.
she's with him or not, the way I
Mm-hmm.
see it is, we don't know what goes on behind closed doors, and no marriage is perfect. But I don't see a woman, whether she stays in the marriage or not, or if she divorces him, but particularly if she stays and she condones that, that's not being along with that man's program. It's either you don't want to start over or you're just buying time to maintain a lifestyle or till you can get the maximum
And,
payout. That's the way I see
so you get your maximum payout, but the thing is, you actually right, you actually going along with the program. That's part of the program.
Would it be safe to say that she married the money more than the man?
it.
I
Yes.
think I think it's really the money is part of it, okay, but I think it's the lifestyle that goes along with it because um, um, 100 octane guys, wealth and fame, guys, fame and status can actually get you in places you can't get into just with money.
Okay.
There's places that that you can't be on a red carpet just with money, okay? And out front of red carpet. She had to come in with a key, and her key to being wealth and being high status, wealth and fame is Stephen Curry. She can't be Aisha Curry without him.
Okay.
She's a sea-level actress without Steph.
Okay.
As pretty as she is, and she's gorgeous, but as pretty as she is, she's a sea-level actress without Steph.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. But
She basically, if Steph shows up with her, who do they look at? Her or Steph?
Steph,
Steph. Even Jada Pinkett, right? Okay, as much as Will loves her, and I know he does, um, if Will Smith and Jada Pinkett show up at the same spot, who do they look at?
Will.
It's going to be Will, and you got to be good with that. Okay, And if you don't, if you're not good with that, you're in a marriage and you're not good with that, you need to get out because that's a class mismatch. You don't have the makeup to be in that lifestyle. Okay, and it's always going to be strife if you don't. That's a class mismatch.
Wow.
Just like Devon Franklin and on the other end, right? Devon Franklin and Megan Good. That's a class mismatch because she gonna do shit. She gonna do stuff that you don't like because that goes along with her status, wealth, and her job, right? Wrong woman to pick if you want to try to tame her. She ain't gonna be the church mom. You didn't pick that. You picked a 100 octane woman with wealth and status, okay? And she's not gonna change, right? And you can't make her change.
And she did all the taming by making all the parameters, like you're gonna have to wait until I'm ready and all that kind of stuff. Wasn't she the one that did all this?
Who's it? No, Megan? No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
I
okay.
don't think so.
But
Even
she
if even he could wait 5 years, it doesn't. Nothing's going to change because
didn't
yeah, because
didn't you consider
she's
her a 100 and him a 92?
he's a 92. In my opinion, he's a 92. And the way he responds, he seems like a 92. He doesn't seem like a the he doesn't seem like the kind of guy that like belongs in that crowd. You know.
Okay. Sister Aissata, you wanted to add on till we can finish up before we get to the next one?
Yeah, well, I was just thinking as far as the wide different levels of wives keeping their families together. I
Mm-hmm.
think that would depend on the type of woman each of them is, because I think you can find different types, different attributes and different types in each
Mm-hmm.
class. So
Mm-hmm. I agree.
if your family is your goal, no matter which one you are, 85, 87, 89, 92, 100,
100. Yeah.
yeah, if the family is the goal, you're going to do what you need to do to keep that together, no matter your octane level.
Denzel Washington and his wife.
Yeah, that's a good example.
There's lots of them. The thing is that most 100 octane wives, if they have a famous husband, they're unknown. You wouldn't even know who they were,
Yeah, and I think they're fine with that.
and they're fine with that. Yeah.
I got a good one. Katherine Jackson and Joe Jackson.
Well, Joe Jackson is not a 100 octane guy.
What was with Joe Jackson?
His kids are. Joe Jackson is a working class guy.
So he's an
They got lucky.
87
He's
maybe.
an 87, and so is Catherine. Right? They just
Okay.
got lucky with their children.
Okay. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, I was kind of interested. I was like, wait a
Yeah.
minute. I'm thinking
Yeah.
about other people.
You'd have to go to the brothers themselves and the sisters themselves.
So they moved
That
up in octanes past their parents.
yes,
Okay.
But that's the same thing with like the Williams, the father
yes,
of the Williams was an 87. But the thing
yeah.
is, if you're 87, you could be an 87 climber, or you could
Hmm.
do like what he did is exactly what I'm doing. I'm pushing my children up to the higher
Yes,
octane instead
yes,
of me. I'm
yes,
fine being the 87 I am. But my children are learning three different languages,
yes.
as well as going to good schools that are really high
Hmm.
up, and
Hmm.
just any opportunity I could put them in to advance
Hmm.
themselves, they are in
Hmm.
it. They're in etiquette
Yeah.
class, they're in gymnastics class, they're in all these classes, and it's
Hmm.
to make sure that they can go up in
Yes,
octane, you
yes.
know.
So the next question is, if brothers and sisters knew about octanes, would they have a better chance in marriage today?
I think so. I'm not going to answer that because I think so. That's why I created it.
Yeah,
Ladies,
I agree with BGS because art, like you and I were talking about earlier, what I've seen in the Black community a lot of times, whether it be dating, just picking somebody to smash or whatever, we go strictly on looks.
Hmm.
We don't give any thought into anything else, character, nothing. We go strictly on looks, and that's been to our detriment. So
Hmm.
yeah, I think it would be great for us to start doing that.
And then
uh,
to add on what Sister Asada said, if I may, I don't think enough of us in the Black community look at when choosing a partner long term. Like this
Hmm.
person may be at one level when you meet them or you encounter them, but you don't know where they may be 5, 10, 15
That's
years
true.
down the
Yeah.
line. So a lot of us pick based off of, or we get caught up based off what we see right now. And
Hmm.
that 87 female may be a 92,
Hmm. That
5
happens.
years down the line, just like a lot of brothers, they may start off at an 87, 89, let them get a
Mm-hmm.
degree or a trade or a skill, and they
Mm-hmm.
could be in that 92 and up category. So I think that's also a problem is we get so stuck on the
Yeah.
here and now and not looking
Well,
at
the
the
thing, the
future
thing,
ahead.
the thing is, when you meet somebody, how can you predict the future?
You can't
Right.
predict the future. You can't predict the future, but that goes into character. To whereas if you meet a guy and say
Mm-hmm.
he's, working at McDonald's, washing dishes, paying for
Mm-hmm.
his way through school or
Oh,
paying to help
what,
support his family, and his goal is to be an engineer,
oh,
then that's a
what, what,
brother with. May I
what he's
finish?
not, what he's not an 85 or 87. He's actually working to be a 92. Do you,
I
you
didn't get to
actually did?
finish my statement, so that's
Okay.
okay.
Oh, no, go ahead. No, finish.
What I was saying was he may be at a lower level at that
Mm-hmm.
time because he hasn't gotten the either full educational level or
Mm-hmm.
credentials or experience to go to the level that he's destined to be at. But that doesn't take away from his character as far as being a great man or a great person who can lead the community, can provide for his family, that can be that role model. So that's what I was saying in regards to a lot of times we write off people based on where they are. You can't predict the future, but you can look at character, and that's something that I don't think we do enough in our community.
What I'm saying is that the example that you just gave um, is what I call a climber, right? And basically, climbers, you can actually predict their trajectory by what they actually want to do. Most guys that are in the hood don't want to be engineers or actually working to pay themselves through school to be an engineer. Okay, that's rare. Okay, you can actually predict that this guy is not going to be an 85 or 87 because that's not his goal. He's actually a 92. He hasn't achieved it yet, but the thing is, his mindset is a 92. You can tell.
But
Yeah.
doesn't that speak to character, or is that speaks more to ambition?
Ambition. Well, ambition is part of character. Okay,
Okay.
you can be character is actually a very broad, right? You can be a okay. Say a guy that's a street corner boy, right? But he's ambitious. He want to get rich and get $100 million, right? He's gonna move up the ladder to be 100 octane. You can tell, but his character is actually kind of foul, right? So character is a big, you can be a 87 guy and go to truck driving school, make a lot of money, hold your family together. But the thing is, that speaks to, you know, that speaks to character, but character is kind of broad. So when you talk about character or ambition, is part of it.
Okay, so when we have these conversations, because in these space and even in our, within our circles, our
Hmm.
personal circles, um, do you recommend like that's why everybody's waiting on your Octane book, BGS, because it's like like okay, for example, we
Hmm.
take this information you give us into
Hmm.
some of our circles that don't even know how the system works.
Hmm.
We just use what you're talking about just to bring it into the other conversations, or do we have to like get them like acquainted to what you're talking about before we even add on some kind of input to
Okay,
the
you can use it without using a system because the system is just a tool, a way of looking at things. Okay, you can actually use it without even using a language. Okay, because uh, women especially understand class. They really do. They understand class better than men actually do, especially in the black community. You can actually tell them use it as a tool that to actually detect a mismatch. Like okay, like say for instance, say like somebody going to Shonda, right? And her girlfriend's complaining about her boyfriend, right? Yeah, well, he just wants a regular job, and he's not ambitious, and he's playing, he's cool with doing his 9 to 5 and coming home and playing his video games, right? And I can't get him to move forward or go back to school, blah 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 blah. She don't have to use a system. She can say, hey, you know what? Uh, you guys are the wrong, not matched for each other. He don't have the same ambition that you do. You need a guy that fits these kind of parameters, blah blah blah, and actually explain to her why her being with him is not going to work out. Okay, he has to use it as a tool without even introducing any kind of the system. The system's not there to actually make a phenomenon. It's actually explain what's already going on.
okay.
You don't have to even use the octanes. You can actually use just to, use it as a tool to actually explain to them without using the system.
Okay. And shout out to Karine, not Karen, for the super chat. Yeah, I'm
Oh,
ready.
oh yeah, I explained it to Corinne. She actually got it. She's an 89.
Is that understand me?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then shout out to Snuggles. Let's see what she says here. Yeah, I'm ready. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't read Karine's comment. My bad. She said, I agree
And
wholeheartedly with everything these panelists are saying.
yeah, I explained it to her because she wanted to know what octane she was. So I asked her a couple of questions. She figured it out real quick.
And then Snuggles says, I would like to see you all have conversation with Anton Daniels and their network. It would be interesting to see the
They
dialogue.
they don't like me, so I don't think that's going to happen.
And people making suggestions, but I'm like, look, people that respond to my emails,
Hmm.
those are people that are here.
Yeah,
So that's just what it is.
yeah,
Uh,
they're not. They don't like me because at the time that like Chicago Real is actually part of their network, right? And we kind of had a discussion on Shannon's channel,
hmm
and it was yeah, it didn't go off the rails, but it came close because he disagreed with a lot of stuff that I said. Most people do.
Well, I guess that's a different type of people, but hey, we'll
No,
let them.
no. Most people initially most people disagree with what I'm saying, even with the octanes. Most people disagreed until they actually went out and actually observed. So, oh shit, it does work that way.
Yeah,
Even
sometimes.
fitness mom didn't agree with me at first. She can tell you
Wow, Charles, tell us how you really feel, Charles. Uh,
that.
jeez, I don't
I
even know.
understand. I understand Anton. I just but
I never
I said
heard
let
that
him
guy.
do. What is it? The Lapeef Network? Anton Daniels?
I heard that name, but
Yeah,
yeah, never,
yeah. You know, it is what it is.
yeah. So we're gonna go into the next question. Where does Octanes come in when raising the children? BGS, you mentioned the 92 being like the Tiger Mom type, or
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so how does that work?
But uh, who the mother is will determine who your children are. 90% of the time. If you want your children to be at a certain level or a certain outcome, you got to start with the mom because her worldview will actually infect the kids more than anything that you do. And that's been proven in data. Like I actually point to, I think it was Judgy Bitch actually came up with like 4 studies about difference between black males raised by black females versus them being adopted by white females.
hmm
And what they found out that if a black male is actually raised by a white female, he will actually be his IQ points and his grades will actually reflect uh, the same as a white male. So and who your kids will be is reflective of who the mom is. You can't get around that. So I tell guys, if you want your kids to be successful, I don't care if your 92 octane wife is a bitch, you're gonna have successful children. Just have to put up with it. What's your mission? If she's got a master's degree and she's ambitious, if she's most likely gonna actually push her kids to be the same way. Within parameters. If you see it the same way, okay, 9 times out of 10, okay, who the wife is, who the woman is, and what she believes in is gonna be reflective of who the kids are gonna be. Like fitness mom. Even though she's an 87, she wants her kids to actually be something else. So she's dedicated to have to see her offspring be something else. So
And,
that's how it works.
and
If
fitness
you
moms.
pick,
Oh, go ahead,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, if you pick an 85 chick and she's got an 85 mindset, you're gonna have hell and high water getting those kids to be successful. You really will.
Before they go on, is
Hmm.
is there a way to quantify how much we have as far as 85s as moms in our vicinity?
I would say it's reflective of a class level, right? I would say what if you look at the class levels, earning levels in the general society, right? Uh, 85s will be between. I would say I'm giving a low ball estimate of like 10%. It's usually between 15 and 20 in our society in black society. Um,
It's pretty low.
and huh?
It sounds like that's pretty low. You said
That's
10%.
pretty. 10% is. I'm giving a low ball estimate about only 10% or 85s. Okay, that's low ball. It's probably more closer to like 15 or 20. But
Okay.
I'm giving the people that are working class or maybe poor or poor working class the benefit of the doubt when I say that. And the 89s and above are 89s are probably about, I would say about 5 or 6%, and then the corporate are like the top 10%. So, and that's why the bulk of all people, all women or men basically are 87 working class.
Okay.
So you're talking about 70% of working class, and you have 10% on one side, maybe 20% on the other side.
Okay. And people that are coming in, please hit the like button, subscribe, share. Um, but sisters, what are your take on that as far as the children? Where does the children come in when it comes to Octane's raising children? I guess we go with Aissata. She took her mic off.
State your question again, Art.
Where does the Octanes come in when it comes to raising children? Give me some methodologies that you can point out as far as Octanes that you have observed and either experienced or even observed. Can you give us some methods?
Oh yeah, this is a good question. Especially with the academic levels of Black children right now. Um, I'm not sure what each different octane level would do, but I would hope that a mother would do whatever she needs to do to raise her child to the next level. But you really have to devote some time. It takes a lot of time to do that. You have to be on top of what your children are doing. So if your children go to school, you have to look at report cards, you have to have meetings with teachers, you have to drop in on the classroom just to see what's going on. Um, my children primarily have been homeschoolers, but I did let them go to school for a little bit. My youngest two have only been in school for like not even a whole academic year they went. But when I went to see them, and I think this was where a lot of the reading problems come from with the Black boys. I think the Black girls who have them too. The new way, they do a new math nowadays, but they also do reading differently. I walked into my son's classroom. I think he was in the second grade at that time. They were memorizing words. And I was like, I asked the teacher, I said, what are you all doing? So, well, we stopped using phonics and we just do word memorization. So I was like, well, what if they come across a word they've never seen before? They can't memorize. They don't know it. So how do you do that? I took them out of school the next day. So because I didn't like that. So if you see something that's not going to benefit your child, don't wait on the teachers in the school system to come up to your standard. You do it yourself or you pull them out and you bring them up to standard. And I think that's what most of us in the Black community do. We rely solely on the teacher and the school district to bring our children up to code. And we need to stop doing that. We know how to read. Teach your children how to read. Teach them some phonics. We know math. Bring your children up to where you are. It's very easy to do. All it does is take some time. So I think each parent, each mother, and each octane level, if you have to have that type of interest in your children to do that. So I don't know if that's kind of if you can single out each different octane for that, but I
Yeah,
think that just
You
goes
you can't
to
you actually can. The thing is it's about averages. Well, who's most likely to actually do that? Is it an 85 street level or um, corporate level to actually do that? Who's
right.
most
You're
likely
right.
able to
Oh,
do that? Yeah,
right,
that's what
BJ.
we go by. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I would say corporate level then because I don't see your average person going to work every day, clocking in, going home. I don't see them feeling like that's something that they need to do because I've seen parents who, when they figure out the child can't read, they go up to the school with an attitude. I always felt like that was my job. My children could read before age 5. So I always felt like that was my duty to them before I sent them out to interact with teachers. But so I guess your according to the octane level, the 85, or I don't know if an 87 would, maybe the 85 and 80, 87 wouldn't do it. Maybe.
The least likely to do it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Fitness mom or Sister Shonda.
What I'll say to that is, in regards to, I think it can occur in all of the classes. Again, to me, this is all subjective, and it goes to what that mother wants for her child. If she sees reading as a priority for her children and them advancing their future, whether she's an 85 or a 100, then she's going to do what she needs to do to be the nurturer and set those kids in motion to be successful. If we're going to look at like an 89 or a 92, someone who is, well, I'll just use a 92 as an example, someone who's at the mid-level management or corporate level, usually their schedules are very, very busy. So they may have either someone that's like a tutor or someone that's assisting in raising those kids. But if that child is falling behind, then that mom, if she's married, needs to have that discussion with her husband, or if she's not married, with her partner or the father of the child, in regards to, she may have to cut back on her work schedule to make sure those kids are in place without it being a significant, financial hindrance to the family. I've seen that happen. It doesn't happen that often, but it can. It all depends on what we prioritize. Now, we may not see it as much based on what's currently going on in some of the lower level octal scales, but I think it all depends on where that mother sees herself at and what she sees for her kids. If that's a priority to her, or if she sees it as something that they should have, then she'll do what she needs to do to make it happen. But I will agree with BGS on this. He stated this before: is the public school system is the largest babysitter for for kids, and it frustrates me that we have so many African American males who can't read, as well as females as well. But when you talk about the number of Black men that are teachers, it's like, oh, well, there's not an incentive for Black males to teach. So I'm not trying to do a tit for tat argument, but we need to have an honest conversation. Yes, the women are the nurturers, but this is a team effort. It took two to create the child, so it also needs to take two to help make sure that child is
Yeah,
successful.
yeah, but there's tons of studies, and even Asians have told me, right, who the mother is who the child's going to be. That's what they believe in. And Jewish folks, uh, 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 Latinos, um, who the mother is normally who the child's going to be, and what her focus is normally where the child's going to go. That's how come you have tiger moms. Say a corporate chick is actually going to send her kid to what, private school. If
Yeah, I was
school
gonna
is
say
not
that.
if the school is not doing what the school needs to do, she's gonna pull them out and actually start paying somebody to teach the kid, get them tutors, get them whatever they need. She might never be able to do it, but she actually, can actually pay to do it.
Yeah,
She
that's
actually,
what I was gonna say.
yeah.
Exactly.
So that's a different that's a different way of seeing things. Okay, and even though it is case by case, what I'm saying is, for a man, if I'm actually telling a man who to pick to have successful children, what I pick a chick that's actually living in the projects.
And Sister Shonda, let's put your viewpoint to you more use.
Hmm.
What methods would an 85 use to help out a child in that situation where they can't read? If she has to work a lot, but at the same time you mentioned that her bills might not be paid or whatever. What can she? It's not about what works and what doesn't work or whatever. It's like, what can you do in those different octanes? What would be methods that you could offer, if any?
Some of the methods can include reaching out to the teacher. The teacher has good resources if that teacher is really invested and serious about educating the students in her class. You also have community resources and church resources that offer free tutoring or math help and things along that line. So the resources are out there. They may not be widely known, but a lot of this stuff is available for minimum to no cost. Is,
Okay,
do they want to do it?
Okay. Sister Fitness Mom, let's
Hey,
get it.
um, I feel like it depends on like certain octane levels find some things acceptable. Like an 87, 85. I don't know about 89. Might find a C acceptable in school.
Ooh.
Like a 92 will not. But 80s and 89, I'm not sure if they may or may not find a C acceptable. But the normal an 87, 85, oh, my child gets straight C's or they get B's and C's, you know what I mean? That as long as they're passing, that can be acceptable. That's one way that they're different in classes. Another thing, as you said, like an 87 or 85, especially if they're working and they're single parents, they're not going to have the time to dedicate to these things. And a lot of times their children may be raised by screens and tablets and everything else because of the fact that they have to work sometimes two jobs and more, and their day is just consumed with making sure that the bills are paid, that they can't follow up so hard on their children and their education. Even though they try to do their best, they still have to make sure that the child has food, roof, and all this other stuff, while someone who's like a 92 can afford to send their child to the best schools, have tutors that come to the house, have nannies that actually help babysit and live with them and take care of their children, while someone who's lesser will not have such resources to make sure that their children are up to par. So, like I said, again, a C will be good for them. While a 92, you get a C, she's got three tutors coming in. She's yelling at the nanny. She's calling the teacher. She wants to know what's going on, what assignments you missed, so that you can make them up. She's doing all this stuff, and
That's
even
my mom.
and if you and
Say
if you
that again, Art.
So that's my. She described my mother. But go ahead.
Yep.
and if you are like someone that like they even to the point of friend circles, like 92, 80, I'm not sure about 89, but 92s will not allow their children to associate with certain kids that aren't getting grades like them because of the fact that again
Facts.
My
It is
mom
facts.
lost some friends. But go ahead.
because again they see that your circle of friends as being influential. So if your circle has C's and D's or B's, then they feel like that family is not as dedicated to making sure their children succeed as they are. So they don't want their children associated with that because they feel that their children will be accepted mediocre if they are uh or think mediocre is okay. That's one. They want their children to be with straight A's, maybe a B. You know what I mean? Just you have to, and the more accolades they get, the more praise that they get at a higher level. While at a lower level, it's like, oh, hanging out with the kids in the neighborhood, whoever is your friend, maybe your cousin, blah blah blah. But that's just some of the things that I've noticed because I work with a lot of 92s, and I've grew up 87 and 85, so a lot
It
of
is
things don't.
it's competitive because my daughter, who's graduate, and she considers herself a 92, right? Um, the reason she wanted my grandson to start reading at 3 because guess what? Her girlfriends wanted the same thing. Well, oh, my kid's reading at 3 years old. Okay, well, my kid does too. So there's a push, there's a circle push that actually pushes the mom to actually keep a certain standard, if that makes sense.
Yes, exactly. Because I mean, like I homeschool my oldest for a good bit, and I'm homeschooling my middle for somewhat of a good bit, but not really because she is actually in school now. But I'm pushing her towards a career path that's going to require her to get a lot of A's, as many A's as she could possibly get. That's what we need for her to be getting on those on her in her schooling. But like what you see, your friends, a lot of the social groups do influence you a lot because of the fact that if you are a mother that's working all the time, you don't have time to put your child into piano recitals and stuff like that. And I mean, you're not gonna, like you said, you're not gonna value that. Like my child wants to go to Juilliard, like okay, but Juilliard costs how much money when Tarrant County Community College costs this much money? I mean, if you want to, you could go to Tarrant County Community College for 2 years and then move up to Juilliard if they accept you and you get the scholarships. While someone else over higher was like, no, we're going to do our best to set our children on a path to Juilliard in 8th grade. Just stuff like that.
Wow, this is good information. For those people out there, please hit the like button. Please, you got BGS and the expertise of these women here. I mean, you getting
Y'all getting a freaking seminar. Y'all need to, at least $1, okay? Because trust and believe, we get paid very well for this. All right.
yeah. I mean, we don't have to say Ganocracy 10 times for the all to pay. We can get
You know what? People keep, that's what I'm known for, amongst other things. But the thing is, um, when I say gynocracy, it's just a name for something that already exists. Okay, that's
right.
been existing for 150 years. People can actually rail against it, but guess what? The structure's still there.
It's a sweet button. I'm like, okay, we got other things. We talking some
Oh
academic
man.
stuff here.
Even
Uh,
the ability to homeschool, that is a luxury in its own.
You know what? You know what, Fitness Mom? It's not just the ability because most 85s do have the ability to actually homeschool if they wanted to, uh, but they don't want to because they actually suggested that to a teacher in Philadelphia, back in I think it was 2007 or so, about how do you get a flipped classroom where most of the lectures are online, and actually have a program that actually teach the moms as the kids grow up a level, right? Actually go along with them to actually be able to teach their kids a certain amount at home, right? They resisted that like hell. Okay, I mean, I got a ton of pushback. Okay, and a ton of pushback from the moms. I don't want to do that. I want the school to teach my kids. I'm not interested in that.
yeah.
And
I could
yeah,
see that because when the pandemic hit and a lot of the kids went into
oh
home,
yes, oh yes,
some of the mothers were very upset about the fact that their children
we're at home. Yeah,
home.
they were. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
the pandemic did show how many people, let alone women, do not want to actually engage in their kids' education. They really don't.
The
That's
pandemic didn't change my life at all. When everybody had to go into lockdown, all I did was just continue with homeschools and doing everything here anyway.
Man,
So
man, man! I taught so many lessons
but you were
during the
winning,
pandemic.
and people like Fitness Mom and Asada, they were winning because
Yeah.
a lot of the kids I'm sorry, children that
Mm,
had to stay home weren't
mm.
used to it. So the fact
Yeah,
that Fitness Mom and Asada were used to that, it
yeah.
was
Their kids were actually got further ahead of the other
yeah.
kids. Yeah.
So when they got back to, if they were able to go back on campus, I mean, GPA was pretty much up there and compared to everybody else because a lot of students have to be sent to either continuation school or repeat the grade.
Mm-hmm.
my daughter actually got pushed to gifted and talented a month and a half into
Into
her
COVID.
going back to school. They tested her
Yeah.
and she's now gifted and talented.
See,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
so people didn't take advantage of that. Me and BJ, we were talking about that.
We were.
You're like, all you got to do is just do at least damn near half the work everybody else is doing. You
And,
you can be up top of the
and,
class.
and, and basically, when the kids are in school, this is what I noticed. Art, you can actually chime in on this. There's a push and pull between what you think is best for the kid and what the curriculum actually is.
Right.
And at the end of the day, you really have to be centered on the curriculum, even though he is actually more capable. Things you still have to teach to the lesson. When during COVID, you had more time to actually teach the kid what the kid needed to know.
Yeah.
You have way more time with the kid because in school, the average teacher only spends like 7 minutes a day with the kid. Whereas when you're sitting there with them um, during Zoom, right, and actually going over the lessons, you're actually spending 3 to 4 hours with the kid. So the
Yeah.
kid gets a lot more hands-on, a lot more in-depth knowledge and stuff like that. So depending on who the parent is.
And they send extra paperwork so the parent can get involved.
Yes.
And some of the parents didn't even take advantage of it. I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. Like I think the first year of COVID, I helped the teacher rewrite her the way she does her lesson plans. How she actually did formatted her lessons and stuff like that. I had to really dig into it and ask her questions and suggestions and stuff like that. Like the first couple of months, she actually did a pretty good job. Like in the second half, and I think there was one morning where my grandson had to do a test, and she said, "Go find your grandpa." Okay, go find your granddad and have him come in and give you some help, okay? Because you're not getting it. So she actually called me by name and said, "Go get him to actually help you out and take this test." So
Yeah, that's the part that we just don't take advantage of it enough.
Yeah.
I think that we have to.
Eh, because we've been socialized in a Preston school system, so anything outside of that we're not used to. So that's a different story for a different day.
Yeah. So this question, the question that was asked earlier, was just mainly to give anyone that found out their octanes different options on how to be able to be, not
Hmm.
just mothers, but just good wives within the family to take care of their
Yeah.
children's needs. Because sometimes, and we hear this a lot, you have a lot of mothers that try to be someone that they're not, and then
Hmm.
pass it on to their child.
Mm. Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, you're not even a 92, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Art.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to tell Art. Art, you've been asked to put your Cash App up.
Oh, okay, my bad. Let me see what I got here. I'll post it.
I mean, it's if say if your mother's a PhD, right, and you're a kid, okay, that's a standard that you have to live up to.
Yeah,
And so that standard is going to be say you can't be a high school dropout and have a mother that's a PhD.
it's rare.
That's embarrassing. So most of the kids will at least get a bachelor's
Yeah, the
just because they don't want to be embarrassed,
only way that usually happens is when the child has like some ability, they're disabled or
or they or some kind of addiction, or they really go a rebellious streak.
yeah, because we got some of those where
Hmm.
you got some accomplished people, but their child a little slow. Got to take some pills.
Yeah, 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 yeah. There's different classes have different pressures.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So the next question, did everybody get everything straight on that last question? I'm assuming yes. Um, so this one here is, I think you guys already answered this stuff. It was how does 85 and 87 accomplish a harmonious relationship in the family? But you guys already answered that, didn't you? On the first question. I think we did. What about this one though? Are octanes primarily an occupational class, or could it be a mindset?
All three. All three. In fact, we talked. Remember, we talked to Alonzo that
Mm-hmm.
sells insurance, right? And even though his mother was her job, her income was lower class,
Mm-hmm.
he was able to attract a wife in a network that's actually higher class.
Okay.
And we asked him, okay, who was your mother raised by, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he had attributes that were of a higher status, right?
Right.
So he was able to attract a woman of a higher status. I said, where'd that come from? Talk about my mother. Who was your mother's family? So his mother actually came from a higher class, uh, of a higher class. I think like a high 92,
Mm-hmm.
almost like Boulay.
Right.
And she transmitted that mindset and those attributes to him, even though she was a working class person. But the thing is, her class status, what she learned as a kid, got transferred to him. He's actually able to actually use that to actually raise himself up.
Hmm.
So it's actually all three, in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah, 'cause that was kind of interesting because we talked about class a lot in occupations, but yeah,
Yeah.
definitely want to get into that, ladies. You based on what you heard, do you want to chime in on that? If you what did you what stood out to you the most? The occupation, the class, the mindset.
I think the mindset is the most important thing. I don't consider it strictly occupational, because your mindset is what leads you into certain occupations or certain careers. So for me, and I'm looking at my family background as well as the type of environment that I came from growing up and where I grew up in, as well as where I live at now. I think the mindset is what drives that. You can have someone who, say, is an 85, they come from single parent household. No one in their family is formally educated, but they see or they get exposed to, this is not the life that I want to have for myself when I grow up, or if I would have a family. That's a mindset. And either they stay where they're at, or they have that mindset that pushes them into the next level. So that's the way I look at it in regards to the scales. I understand what BGS is saying in regards to his opinion, but for me, I think the mindset is what trumps most of this.
Okay. Um, Aissata or Fitness Mom, did you want to chime into that one?
Yes. I have to agree with Sister Shonda because I think the mindset is basically that puts you in control of whatever situation you deem fit. That's what you're going to go with. So, yeah, your mindset pretty much controls all that.
And Sister Fitness Mom, she's probably making chicken or lasagna or something.
Um, no. Um, Again, yeah, mindset. But the thing is about that's about mindset is you're taught that at an early age. So environment works as well. I mean, like you said, there are people who are motivated beyond what they have or beyond their thing, and something about that person is different than what they were raised around. There are a couple examples of that, like all over the place. But a lot of times when the person is motivated like that, they did have somewhere in their background somebody that taught them a little better than what they were around. You know what I mean? Like maybe a teacher might have got to them, or somebody may have got to them that influenced them early on to look beyond where they are.
Okay. Okay. All right. So the
You know,
next, go ahead.
you know the biggest to talk to actually speak to what Shonda said, right? Um, the biggest question I get from guys are about the 85 climbers, right? The one that actually went to school, raised yourself up, uh, got a corporate job, um, got into a different class structure, right? But they still carry the attributes of where they came from. Those are the biggest questions. Most questions I get from guys. Okay, why does she act like this? Okay, she's got this great job. She's corporate. She's educated. She got a PhD. She got a master's. Got a great job. Why did she date a thug? Or why did she have a baby daddy? Or why does she cut up certain times when she gets mad? Or why does she do this when she gets drunk? Right? It's all three. That's why mindset is part of it. Get you out of it, but thing is, you still carry those cultural characteristics with you. You can't. That's programmed into you. You can't get away from that. That's like how Molly had a insecure. Molly had a difficult time with. Had to go to her shrink and actually even that kind of stuff out because her upbringing actually kept coming back up. And she had to actually reconcile that. So so that's why I say it's all three. Because I hear thing is I hear this all the time. Okay, why? Okay, this she has all these attributes. She's got all this education. Why does she do this, that, and the third? Because it's programmed into you. First 7 years. That stuff is programmed in. Okay, your environment's programmed in, and there's a certain attitude and chip on your shoulder, all kind of stuff that you carry with you, and when even as you progress. Um, a good show that talks about that. Remember the show Billions with what's his name, the billionaire, and he came from a impoverished background. He carries a chip on his shoulder, even though he's a billionaire. He still carries the street with him, and he uses that in his business. And you can see it come out in his attitude and the way he does things. And some things you can't escape. Whereas like um, Alonzo's mother, okay, the way she was raised carried through, even though she wasn't able to pull herself up out of her situation. She actually transmit that to her son. So that's why I say it's all three. All three are important. I don't think there's any one situation, one more important than the other.
Which you so mainly you saying that all three have to be balanced at
They
least.
all three have to. Yeah, they can either hold you back or push you forward. Can your mindset pull you out of your environment? It sure can. But most of the time, it's actually gonna, for the majority of people, that's gonna hold you back. Very few people come out of the projects and become a PhD. Okay, most of the PhDs come from a certain segment of people.
And shout out to Drew Main for the cash app. Yeah, I'm Rick James. And Art Beats, artist and MC with the cash app. I'm Rick James. Now the other question too is, hope everybody's doing well on time. Uh, we're probably well based on you guys' availability because I want to be able to invite some of the because we got some sisters up in the panel that may want to come up and chime in as well, ask some questions based on what they heard.
Now, how are we doing on the questions so far?
I think we're down to the last three.
Okay, all right, that's cool.
I might have to skip a few because I think we already answered them earlier. Um, now, what about gender? Octanes and gender roles. I mean, is that a conversation that could be had based on household chores? How people, who does what with finances and things like that. Where does that fit in?
I think the struggle is larger the more you go up in class in money, because the more educated the woman is, especially in this society, gender roles are more arbitrary and are harder to discuss.
Okay,
Even
lady,
though even though the strife exists in all the classes, but I think it's even more combative in the higher classes.
it's a very big, what do you call it, a hot button topic.
Extremely well, yeah, because you're trying to form a family, and you got to figure out who's going to do what, and that's where the
Yeah,
where the battle comes in.
yeah, we probably have the biggest "who's on first" argument between couples.
Yeah.
Like,
Whereas 100 octane, okay, if for a 100 octane guy, you're on his agenda. Okay, so you have to really pretty much he has the money, wealth, and family to actually kind of dictate um, the kind of wife he's going to get.
wow. So the high
Whereas a lower class guy doesn't. But the biggest struggle about gender roles is probably in the 92s.
92s. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, because like Michelle Obama is not cleaning toilets, right?
She doesn't have to, but yeah, she's not. Yeah.
Ladies, but y'all want to chime in on that one?
Yeah, I think this is a good one. I'm not sure what my octane is, but I'm one of the people, a sister, I firmly believe in gender roles. I've always was of the mindset that I didn't care how much I made. I'm cooking my food. I'm not ordering out. I'm not going to any restaurants. I'm gonna cook my food at home, and that's generally what I do. So that's never a question.
Okay. Um, what about Shonda and Fitness Mom?
For me, again, it goes to environment. It can be a struggle the more education that woman has. But it depends on how she was raised and what she sees as important to the family structure. I stated this before on your panel, Art. Women as well as men, we've lost sight of what the gender roles are. And if you don't know what your role is, no matter what the octane level is, how can you have a sustainable, successful relationship? So I think it goes back to environment as well as what that person has normalized as this is what my role is as a woman, whether I'm an 85, an 89, 92, or 100.
Okay. Fitness Mom?
So the question is octanes and gender roles. Well, uh, I agree with what everyone else has said. It um each person has to decide for themselves what they want. See, the thing about it is, a lot of times with the way society is set up now, because it's not just being raised, but society as a whole, and peer pressure, or your friend group, your circle group, depends on how that person is interacting, or what level they're interacting on. Because some people, their friend group, like, well, you never go out anywhere, you never do anything, and they might look down on that, the fact that she's always cooking and stuff like that. So I think the lower you go, the more likely you are to find someone who will do things like I do all the cooking, I do all the cleaning, I do the house chores. This is only in marriages, because if we're talking about single people and people who aren't married, then this doesn't really, stand but in marriages, like I think 89 maybe, but definitely 87 and maybe 85. They can definitely be more of the home type, the stay-at-home wife, the cooking, the cleaning, the taking care of all the children while he goes out and works and pays the bills and brings the money in and stuff like that. Because, someone that's like a 92, to me, they might not want to be cooking and cleaning and raising the children all the time. They might want to, do some moving, do some shaking, do some mingling or advancing in a way. If it's not them, maybe their husband. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Okay. So we're going to the last couple because the other question was, well, we'll probably visit a little bit. And shout out to No One for the Cash App.
Yeah, I'm Rick James.
Let's see. I was going to ask what Octane would Rick James go for, but I'm joking. But let's go with is there a unique? I think we asked this before, but in another way. But is there a unique code between the Octanes? Like the Ten Commandments, type of thing. I mean, are we able to speak on that?
I think amongst women, I think is it unique, or is it
Right.
when you
Yeah.
unique between classes? Is that what
Well,
you're saying?
between the Octanes themselves, like thou shall not do this, or you have to do that in order to get this. If you don't do this, then basically is
It, if you don't, if there's certain standard that I think that each octane sets that if you can't be part of the group if you don't uphold it.
right. That's what I want to know. Like,
So that's it. That's the Fey group, right? Say if women do that on just on clothes, right? Say 85 comes in and she's got tats and she's got tats and she's not quite appropriate to go to a black tie event. You can see the women immediately start looking down on her,
so
just
that's
judging her immediately. Yeah.
okay.
So there is a code, there is a standard, and the same thing uh, on the reverse. Say high 92, how she speaks coming to the cookout. Okay, they might be nice to her, but they're gonna kind of shy away from her. Okay, she's too bougie or she's too this or that, and so she won't be part of the group. She won't be considered part of the circle.
So
So
mainly,
there's yeah.
Octanes are pretty much like a club sometimes, right?
I would say not really like a club per se, but it's a class. Okay, certain
Or
class. Women are really sensitive to class. Okay, they really are. Because I've seen it with from working class women that and hood chicks, right? Look, I'll give you an example, right? You come from the Cosby uh,
yeah,
class, right?
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And certain women that I know that come from the Cosby class, they like to dip down into the
Good.
into the east side, into the hood, right?
Yep.
And I had too many of them cry on my shoulder, like, how come they won't accept me? Okay, like they will party with these chicks, they hang out with these chicks, but they're never part of the group, right? And they always get mad. How come they don't accept me? I said, you're not part of their class. You weren't raised like that.
So you do all the dirty stuff to try to get accepted.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But you got cultural tells that will let them know that you're not part of, you don't belong in this particular class of people.
Hmm. So I'm glad I did revisit this.
Yeah.
Ladies,
Can you repeat the question, Art? I'm sorry.
is there a unique code, based on that you heard and what you observed in life? Is there a unique code between the octanes as far as what to do, what not to do, like a Ten Commandments, so to speak, or like an unnamed sorority? I guess you know, kind of thing.
I definitely think it is one with the higher ones. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Particularly 89 and up.
Hmm.
Certain stuff you may do it, but you're gonna hear about it. At least that's been my observation and my experience. So I think for 89 octanes and up, there's a certain code, there's a certain expectation that comes along with that, whether you ascended into it or whether you were naturally born into that.
Like a good example of it, partially what BJS was explaining. Remember the movie with Idris Alba, Daddy's Little Girls,
Yep.
when her friends found out that she was dating a limo driver.
Yep.
Yeah.
It seemed like that was some kind of code that she was supposed to uphold, but she refused to go by it because of whatever reason. I'm just trying to be nice about it.
You have that element. It exists. You have that. It's like if you're going to do that. I personally don't agree with people, but people can do what they want to do. But if you're going to do that, it's like, well, you keep that in the dark. Don't bring that out in public.
That's the 12 to 5 dude.
Right.
That's a side dude. That's another story though.
Okay, we should have a whole.
Hey, Art. There's a lot of concubines out there that think that okay, I actually have sex with a higher class woman that I'm special. I said no, you're not. You're servicing her. Okay, she's
Yeah,
never going to introduce you to her network, to her friends.
yes,
They'll never come out.
he's part of the budget,
He's part of the
along,
budget. He is, yeah.
along with Haagen Dazs. Haagen Dazs.
Wait, wait, shit.
You
Thou
know,
are not shit, sir.
they can afford it.
I actually crush guys with that. Well, man, my girl that I've been dating for the last 5 years, man, my girl is a corporate lawyer. Have you ever met her friends? No. You're a side dude. No,
Yep,
man, that ain't true. My girl loved me.
yep.
Have you ever met her family? No. You're a side dude.
And you all know what's a good example of that? That's just one is being Mary Jane. The
Yeah.
show doesn't come on anymore, but I can't remember the guy's name that played, but he was like the hood tatted up fine brother, but he only
Hmm.
came over at night. She wasn't about to
Hmm.
bring him to a public event in the industry that she worked in. Again, people can do what they want to do, but just be honest, because at the end of the day, folks have feelings. But I definitely think in the 89 and up, that
Hmm.
is a certain code, and if you're gonna do it, you're gonna hear about it from from people that are within that similar group.
Now,
Also, the 85 chick that brings the lame dude to the cookout.
wow, that's a good one because okay, say if the let's go back to the 92 bringing her 80 85 side piece into the corporate Christmas
Ooh,
party,
ooh,
and
ooh,
she introduces him. What does she say?
ooh. I don't know. Got that? I can't answer that one. You ladies,
She's
take it from
scripting
there.
him before he gets there.
She most likely she says, "This is my
My friend,
friend,"
this is my friend.
and he makes that. Like, what kind of look he makes?
Yeah, my eyes get real big.
Now let's go to the cookout though. Let's go to the 85 bringing the 92 to the cookout. Does she say the same thing?
I don't think she'll say the same thing, but I think her family would be like, "Who is this Negro and why is he here? Where did you meet him at?"
So he
Hmm.
won't be looked up as a come up. It'd be more like you bring this uppity dude up here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's the code, right?
yeah. That's the difference in class, and you're judged like that. Um, say if the 92 did bring her side piece to the Christmas party,
Hmm.
she was gonna hear that for the next 5 years. She will never hear the end of that.
In the copy machine room, in the
Oh
coffee.
man. Oh, the joke when she tried to crack on something. Remember that Negro that you brought to that what they call him, that hush puppy wearing street dude you brought to the Christmas party. She'll never hear the end of that.
Oh man! And for those people that are listening, please hit the like button, and what's the other one? Subscribe and we're gonna get these ladies channels, y'all. So we working on it. Let's see, Sister Fitness Mom, are you able to come up with something for this question that we just asked?
No, I think everything's been covered.
Okay. All right, so I think did BGS. Didn't you go over how, examples how octanes can't mix, or how they can or can't mix?
They can't. Okay, they can mix depending on the attributes that you want out of a particular person, right? Say you have a guy with a PhD or a guy that's corporate, but he doesn't want his woman or his wife to be in his business, right? He wants to do his thing, come home, enjoy his family, sit down, read his paper, have a drink, have a smoke, right? Without his woman being in his business. Okay, you wouldn't pick a 92 because guess what she's gonna be? She's gonna be in your business, right? Like she gonna wonder what happened at the meeting, who you introduced to, what party you had to go to next. Uh, uh, the mayor called and that's kind of stuff, right? You if you don't want that, get an 87. Okay, you might have to talk about a reality show or not be able to tell her about what you did or what your aspirations are. But guess what? She don't want to hear that stuff. What she wants to hear what you want for dinner. She wants to know where the next vacation is, right? And she don't want to go to the south of France where she don't speak the language. Okay, she want none of that. I want to go to Vegas. I want to get us a room. I want to go down and with the chips. I want to play the slot machine. I want to go to the buffet or go to dinner or something like that. She ain't interested in all that kind of stuff. If you want a woman that's going to be satisfied with the status quo, get you an 87. Okay.
Mm,
If you don't need it, because she's a wife, she's not a partner. Okay, she's not there to actually push you forward or motivate you to do better, nothing like that. Yet that's internal. Okay, so if you don't want a person, want a partner, you don't pick a 92. You pick an 87.
mm, okay. So this is a follow up question.
Mm-hmm.
Just to narrow it down. So when one side moves up to in status, right,
Mm-hmm.
or octanes,
Mm-hmm.
does the other side move up automatically just by being with them, or should they work to move up, or should they remain in the same position?
I think if okay, normally if the okay, say if 287s marry each other, right? They marry for like 4 or 5 years, and the guy moves up to corporate, okay, or to a higher octane, he's most likely want to keep his wife. Okay, he'll probably
Hmm.
be more happy with his wife, the status quo. They live in a better house and better neighborhood. But the thing is, he's not looking to pull her along with him. Okay, 9 times out of 10, right? But the opposite happens, and I've heard this so many times, right? Where they married each other, they're both 87s, right? And she moves up to become corporate, or she becomes a mogul, something like that. She wants to pull him along. If he doesn't want to go, she's going to divorce him
Mm,
because he don't fit her lifestyle anymore. So the way women look at it, the way men look at it is different. A woman's there to actually pull you up to her level. That's why you pick a 92. So if you're an 87 guy want to be ambitious, get yourself a 92. She's going to pull you up because that's what she wants to do. She wants to be equalized. She don't want that mismatch 9 times out of 10. Very seldom does the woman, like Dolly Parton her husband actually drove a forklift and a tractor and a steamroller, right? Did
hmm.
road work, right? She was happy with that, okay? But that's rare. That's rare. Normally, a woman would actually want to pull you up to her level, whereas a man doesn't care. If you fit what he wants to do, he doesn't care what level you are. So
Right.
it means more to a woman about being equalized than it does to a man. So I've heard that many times. Like I think I was talking on a panel, right? And she was asking this question because she said um, she met her husband in the service, right? And he's a regular 87 guy, and uh, and she got into politics, right? So she went to school, got into politics. She started moving up the ladder, right? She actually wanted to run for office and all that kind of stuff, right? And he didn't want to be a part of it. He didn't want that kind of lifestyle. So she actually divorced him and was looking for a different kind of guy, and that happens. It probably means more to a woman than it does to a man. That's just my opinion, ladies.
I agree with that. I definitely think that it should be. But to me, that what I would add to that, if I may, is I think you have to properly vet the person that you're looking to be with, women as well as men. Um, people can change, they can grow, particularly as they get exposed to more things. But I think with the scenario that you presented, I see that that woman either was like that from jump and she either just settled, or something triggered in her at some point, and she wanted more, and he didn't want to acquiesce to that, which that goes back to, I hope I don't sound like I'm rambling, it goes back to either she didn't know or she lost her gender role in the relationship.
Hmm. Okay. Hey, you guys come up with some deep answers. Let's see, either Fitness Mom or Sister Aissata.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree. I think that it depends. It's more women value that more because women are, again, we want providers or some form of provision or something like that. While a man isn't looking for a woman to provide for him somewhat. So if she moves up in the octane, it's not like if he moves up in the octane and becomes like 100 octane and his wife is 87. It's not like he's like, oh, now I'm embarrassed to be with her because she's no longer, this high octane, high achieving person, because men aren't looking for women to be high achievers that, provide for them. You know what I mean?
And we would love for Sister Crimson Cure to come up if you want. Come on up. But I got this is for those ladies that want to come up. Please come up, add on to the conversation based on what you heard. You got some questions. We got the right people to answer them. Plus, we got the great BGS here, the one that created the
You
system.
gonna get me in trouble, man.
We're going to have fun today.
Oh man, you know how much headache I get from you guys calling me the master teacher.
Oh, yeah. That's why I do it on purpose, man.
Oh man, I get so much smoke from there. Why they call you the goddamn master teacher? What you
Yeah.
teach? Yeah.
I didn't get a piano. How come he get a piano?
Why do you get an intro?
Yeah, intro, all that.
All that, yeah. How you get an intro?
Oh, she said we're discuss. Oh, you already know about this, Sister Kendra. This is about
Yeah, she does.
the
Yeah, she does.
octane.
Yeah.
About the octane. So I think they would love to hear your input. Um, but anyhow, that was. Oh, did everybody answer the question? Did we get Asada? Did we get Fitness
Yeah, I
Mama?
think so. I think we got everybody.
Um, and so mainly the link is for ladies only. Sorry, fellas, but we got to keep it consistent. You
Yeah.
know. And we got Sister Toya, the two. That's my Leo sister right here. Uh,
Hey, my favorite set of soup coolers.
Oh, I brought an
Will you?
apple for the teacher.
I love her. I love Atoya's voice, though.
Thank
oh
you.
yeah,
I love yours too, BGS.
Oh, I appreciate
Um,
that.
you're welcome.
and a close up here. This is her on the Rolanda show.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I almost didn't recognize her though.
I know.
Yeah, I
I've
watched
aged.
those back in the day when I was
No,
in
well, you're not the same size, so that's the biggest
That
thing.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
She had the Nickelodeon look. So yeah,
Yeah, she
shout out.
did. She did. Yeah. But the eyes, the nose, and the mouth are all the same. So.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, and
I was still
Cornelia.
playing with Barbies at that age.
Oh okay, and
I
put
can
the
tell.
face. Like whoa. And the shout out to Cornelius Bellamy for the super chats at the BGS tax.
I'm Rick
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
no one
Yeah.
did the same thing.
This turned into a seminar.
I know. I called about. We got to have this conversation. Just we got to have another dimension of what these sisters are about, man. Have this very intellectual conversation.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no one. He mentioned BGS tax and democracy 10 times. That's what he said.
Well, the thing is that the system was actually designed for men. Okay, we know we're talking about it. It's actually designed for men. So, does it seem like sexist? Yes, because it was. System was actually not designed for women. Actually add men to it because it was actually asked to do that. Originally, men weren't even part of it. But
Yeah, and we
the
got.
women. Well, what about the men? Do they have octanes too? Okay.
And that's why I slipped that question in there just in case they have it as far as 100. a man's what is it? The man's 100 octane or whatever.
100 octane, yeah,
A
the
man,
ball. I call it. There's a reason I call the 100 octane the baller class
yeah, because I
because
was like,
there's wealth and status. You can be a billionaire but not be a baller. Or like what's his name Bezos and the interaction he had with what's the guy actor's name?
Jeff Bezos and
What he was just in the you know what his name? He played in Titanic. What's the actor's name?
uh, hey, damn, he's
Leonardo DiCaprio, right?
there you go. Why I forget Candyland? Okay,
Yeah, yeah, and Jeff Bezos' paramour was actually feeling him, right? So he had to kind of interject. That's a different. Even though Jeff Bezos can actually buy Leonardo what 100 times, 1,000 times over,
yeah,
just buy him out.
yeah,
But the thing is, his woman was feeling him because he was up against fame and status. That's the difference between a 92 and a 100 octane.
yes, sir. We got Crimson Cure in the building. I can't believe she's on my little
Oh,
panel.
oh yeah, she knows the octanes inside
Hey,
and out.
everybody. How y'all doing?
Salute, Crimson Cure. Hey, Toya.
Hey.
Hey y'all. So
Hi.
what do you ladies have to what do you ladies see as far as chiming in on what we spoke about?
Okay, I have to listen a little bit more because I know about octanes and things of that nature, but what are we talking about as far as them?
Mainly, we were talking about how having the wife conversation with octanes.
Okay.
Just to find out whether or not like how do you work with octanes when it comes to raising children. Um, how do you work with octanes as far as keeping the family together? That kind of thing. How the different methodologies of different ones, and how do you fit them, or even mix matching them. That kind of thing. So we were just just chiming in on how do you see it, and they gave all this stuff. Even I think the one that's probably going to be a big one later on would probably be, oh, we got some all stars in here, would be the gender roles versus finances. You know,
Hmm.
so so I'm curious. So whoever wants to chime in, Kendra, you have the floor. What do you think so far?
Well, I think y'all know what I think. The higher you get, because women, especially nowadays, term success the same way men do. It's a masculine thought pattern.
Hmm.
So when a lot of women now say they're successful, they mean profession and wealth, right? I was able to go and get a certain amount of education. Therefore, I was able to go and get a or pursue a certain profession, which allowed me to make a certain amount of money. Okay. And the higher she climbs that ladder, the more she deems herself successful. But it's a masculine mindset, it's a masculine success. And because of that, most women don't know how to turn it off. And so this is where we come into conflict about gender roles because she decides that my success was external. I have more mobility, I have more money, I have more education, maybe not more necessarily than the man I'm with, but maybe more than other women. And so because of that, I the feminine things or the more traditional things that are associated with being a wife, being a mother, she feels like those things are beneath her now. She doesn't have to do those things. So now this is where we get partner talk. This is where we get, we're marriage is a business and marriage is a partnership. And, you know, she doesn't want to talk about submission. She doesn't want to talk about children. Even if she has children, raising them in a traditional way is also beneath her. So these sorts of things are where the conflict is because in this society now, women are kind of doing things that work against their actual nature. And then we reach an age where our biology takes over, because we actually do want men to provide and to give the stability and to do all of these things, despite the fact that we did it, right? Despite the fact that we did it. A woman can go and make $200,000 a year. She's not going to do the same thing with her money as a man's going to do with his money. She's just not going to do it. It's just not. It doesn't matter to her that she spent all her time doing all of that. If it, I hate to ramble, but this is kind of a large scope for me.
Mm-hmm.
She this is why we're having these conflicts, because women still want what women want, despite the fact that we go out into the world and we've got all these different opportunities, and we can pursue all of these different things. This is why women want it, quote unquote, all, because there's a battle inside of her. This is what society expects, and this is what I want to do. But at the same time, there reaches a point where my biology takes over and I want this stuff to be provided for me. And so now we have a clash, because you spent so much time telling men that you don't need those things that at 36 you want from him. So at 22 you gave him your butt to kiss. And then at 39 you need all of a sudden. And men should level up in order to give it to you, and all of that sort of thing. So I'm gonna stop rambling, let somebody else take the floor. But I guess that's my opening thoughts on
I had to stop drawing and listen. Sister Toya, Sister Kareen, you ladies want to chime in as well?
I just came up just quickly to say kudos to you, Art, for having these conversations. I'm loving it so much. Sister Aissata, and Fitness Mom, what you're talking about doing with your kids. I'm kind of tearing up because I'm so proud to hear these conversations. I'm just listening and I'm like, yes, 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 in the chat because I love it. I have to go, but I just wanted to say that because I love this. I hope we have more of these conversations about just raising family and about women who want to raise families because we don't have those, in these spaces as much. So thank you.
Well, thank you, sister, for coming up and sharing this for the sisters here and the great BGS. And, you know,
What octane are you, Kareem?
Yes, the 89 you said.
Do you
All
agree?
right, guys. Yeah, I do. I do. Remember we had the conversation. I definitely
Yeah,
agreed. Everything you said made sense. And what my friends and the way I was raised. Yeah, it made sense.
yeah.
and
All
the
right,
people
bye,
that are,
lady. Oh,
oh, go ahead, sister.
sorry, I was just saying bye.
Take care,
Bye
that.
now.
Kareem.
Bye,
Be
Kareem.
safe.
And those people that are out there, if you can, could you put Crimson Cure's channel in the chat so you can
Oh,
subscribe
thank
to it?
you. Thank
Yeah,
you for that.
please. She comes out with a lot of, a lot of fire information. Good Lord.
I
Uh,
can really see why they call her DJ Fish Grease. Like it's obvious.
Who gave you
You
that name?
know
Was
who
it
gave me that name?
was it Torian or was it Charles?
No, it was actually Charles that gave me that name.
Okay.
He gave me that name a long time ago, DJ
Oh, he sure
Fisher.
did. Yeah, she cooks.
Mm-hmm.
oh, yeah, go ahead.
BGS.
Yes, ma'am.
If I could, I would love to know what octane you think I am.
Okay. What's your highest level of education?
I have 2 bachelor degrees.
Two bachelor's degrees. Okay.
Yeah.
What is your occupation? Corporate or what?
I just moved out of corporate into nonprofit.
Okay, you still a 92. Okay. If you could, what kind of guy would you choose? You could choose a corporate guy, working class guy, or what?
Working class.
Working class.
Mhm.
Five friends that are similar to you, right? Call your five
Mhm.
closest friends. What kind of guy are they married to or date?
One's married to a corporate guy, one's not married.
Who did,
One
who does
is
she
a
date? Who does she date if she's not married?
uh, um a colorful guy.
Oh, okay, all right. Now, entertainment, what?
Yeah, you could say that.
Oh, 100 octane. Okay, so she's above the 92. Okay, third friend.
Is a guy. Does that count? Because
No,
I
no,
don't
no, no.
have
Got to be female friend. Yeah.
uh She is divorced, and the other one is also divorced.
Who is she married to?
She was married to a corporate guy, an African,
Okay, fourth, fifth, the one that's divorced, the fifth one. Who is she married to?
a firefighter.
Okay, so you would be. I will put you at since you like working class guys. Have you always dated working class guys?
Yeah,
Okay, you're an 89.
I thought so.
Yeah, and I could tell by you're a little bit more bohemian, like or more of like a
Mhm.
free spirit. Yeah,
Mhm.
89. Yeah.
Okay.
Could she have potential climbers tendencies?
Yeah, she could if she wanted to, she could be in corporate. She can have a corporate kind of guy because tell by her speech pattern, you can tell by her education and where she carries herself. She could actually be a higher class, a 90, date a 92 guy, marry a 92 guy if that's what she wanted. She don't want that life. She don't want that kind of environment.
Boom.
Right? Am I correct?
Nail on the head.
Okay. That's why 89s are kind of hard to judge, but a lot of 89s are actually bohemians, uh, free spirits.
Hmm.
That's
So,
that's how she went from corporate to what nonprofit. She don't like the she she doesn't mind the corporate structure, but she doesn't like it. She wants something where she can actually kind of spread her wings, if that makes sense.
so which octane is more biologically driven?
Biologically, I would say the 85s are probably more biologically driven than all because they're at a more survival level, right? So they're more biologically driven than the other classes. That'd be just my first guess because they're the ones that are going to have more kids, kids out of wedlock. They're driven by their nature. They pick guys by their feels rather than their, you know, their skills or thinking process. The higher you go up, the more you have to actually consider the kind of guy that's in front of you. What does he do? What's his thought process? His education, his knowledge. That's probably as you go up, it becomes more important. And then when you hit 100 octane, his talent. Okay, so the person that can actually afford to be more biologically driven are actually the 85s. 87 is a little bit more, a little bit less, but as you go up, it gets less and less and less. So biologically driven 92 is actually going to have that dude as a side dude. She won't bring him in front of her girlfriends. So
So,
she'll be single, for 20 years, but she'll have a consistent side dude that visits her 2 or 3 times a week. And if she's gonna have a date with him, she's gonna be like in places where her girlfriends won't be, where she won't be seen. She ain't gonna take him to Vegas. Okay, she'll take him someplace where nobody will see her. But she'll have him for 15, 20 years because that's her biology talking to her. But she's not gonna risk um, her status and her reputation because at 92 is actually value your reputation more than anything else. Even the guys. Okay, how come a 92 guy won't be seen with his side chick who's has 4 kids and is on the county? Hit it to his reputation. He'll go visit her, once a week at, right around 11 o'clock. He'll take the hoopty and drive down the projects and go hit it and leave her a little cash as he's leaving, but he's not going to be seen with her. At 92, protect her reputation probably more than any other group.
hmm.
On that note, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off
All
because I'm gonna
right.
get comfortable. But I'll be listening to stuff like that.
well,
So
well,
thank y'all so much
well,
for
Kendra
having
knows
me
this
on.
stuff inside and out, so
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I
yeah.
appreciate you stopping through, Kendra. I'm gonna reach out to you for some future stuff if you're willing
Yeah,
to.
well,
Okay.
Kendra knows what I'm talking about. Them dudes visiting in the hood, that have well, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Those
yeah.
guys that come through because
Mm-hmm.
actually you see them guys, because I just moved, but the place I moved from,
Mm-hmm.
you see a guy pull up in a kind of a nice Benz or something, pull
Mm-hmm.
up, he'll go in one of them buildings. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. You know what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And wake up later on, maybe to go to work or something like that. That Benz gone.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It's
Mm-hmm.
gone. It don't park there all night. You see what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you see it definitely,
Mm-hmm.
definitely.
Okay. Well, appreciate you, sister, for coming through. Now we're going to give Sister Toya the third degree about her mom on that show while she's here.
All right.
Okay.
I actually remember that show live, man, when it
You
happened.
do?
Yes, I do.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because we want to find out. Are you able to let us know during the time of the show, if you can remember,
Hmm.
what was the? Would you be able to determine what octane your mother was during that show?
Um, no. I mean, I haven't thought about it. Hmm.
She doesn't know enough about it to actually determine that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Your mom, but she looks like a bohemian. She looks like an '89 free spirit, a little bit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I would say that for
she's
sure.
not as class conscious, so she's accepting of most classes,
But
even with
see,
guys.
the thing is with my mom, she has always been able to move around in any room
Mm-hmm.
despite not being educated and despite
Mm-hmm.
being a teenage mom.
Mm-hmm.
People see her looks first, and I think that that is what attracts them. And then when she opens her mouth, it's like, oh, there's more to her
Mm-hmm.
than just this, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, she's an '89. She's not really corporate, but the thing is, she's whether it's formal or self education, she's moved herself into that space.
right.
Yeah, and I noticed the dreads I think she was wearing.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
yes.
she's a bohemian. So,
She's had great mentorship.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that's the thing that I'm trying to. I've always been looking in this for over the years about the nature part and the biology part,
Mm-hmm.
whereas we let the societal norms dictate what the biology. Matter of fact, we don't even talk about biology. We get more into what the society wants you to be, and then later on, once you worn out and the society wore you out, and maybe the biology kicks in, or actually no, you let it kick in. It's like, hell, I'm 60 years old. what am I gonna do next? So, which goes to this question to everyone on the panel. Okay, you 100, you're 100 octane. You hit the wall.
Mm.
Uh, you got a divorce. What's
Yeah,
next?
the wall comes early at 100 octane.
So what's next after you hit the wall at 100 octane?
You have to make a decision after you hit the wall. Can you still pull a guy at your level? And if you can't, then you have to downgrade. You have to go from a 100 octane guy in the industry to a 92, and you keep going down till you actually find where your level is.
Now can you be in 100 octane without the education?
Yeah. Oh yeah. The education doesn't matter with 100 octane. Looks are probably for a woman looks are far more paramount than your education. They don't care at that level. They don't care.
I'm just trying to see how far would they fall once you don't have all the things that makes a 92 a 92.
Uh, uh, you, you talking about a 92? You talking about 100 octane? Which one you
100
talking about?
octane.
100 octane. Okay. 100 octane is the big. Okay. There's a couple things with 100 octane. You guys give me a little room. Is one is her wealth and fame, and two is her circle. Right.
Mm-hmm.
100 octane, even if she's not known, she knows everybody right in that circle. Right. Say if you needed a information, right? I get P Diddy on my Rolodex. I can actually give him a call, get an answer. He'll actually text me back, call me back, right? You don't have that access as a 92. Okay, it's the crowd that she runs in that's most advantageous for a 100 octane girl. So even if she hits the wall, she still has that Rolodex. So that's what makes her valuable to like a 92 or even a 87. She can get the guy in the room. He can actually get invited to the Emmys or the Oscars or the whatever show there is. Oh yeah, I can get you into that party. I know people. I can get you to go up and meet uh, whoever the flavor of the month is. I actually know his producer and his director and his arts guy or his agent. So she can actually get you into places that you can't get into. She's like a key.
Oh, okay.
That's the way they operate. That's her biggest value. I say if you're going to get friend zoned by any chick, any class of chick, 100 octane. because of her Rolodex. She can get you in as a plus one. Say a big bash where a lot of rich people are going to be. I'm carrying you as a plus one. Go in and hobnob.
So they're gonna always have some kind of longevity, even based on the association.
Yes, yes. But thing is, as far as be partnering with another 100 octane guy, okay, 100 octane guys gonna look after a certain age. They're gonna look to younger, the next person up, the next 100 octane is up and coming, the prettiest thing coming off between ages of 19 and 23. In fact, Shannon said the exact same thing. Okay, after you get to like 31, 32, I'm not dating you. I'm dating a 23-year-old version of you.
Sort of like you could tell with like Stacey Dash, Holly Berry, and all of
Hmm.
those. Once they hit the wall, they still got connections that they're using to get them jobs and things
Yeah.
like
Oh
that.
yeah. 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 The thing is, but look at their mates. They have to start downgrading.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
Like, so basically, let's go with I think Holly is with Van Hunt, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's what pretty much a B-list singer.
Mm-hmm.
So would he be what 89 maybe?
He would be he would be a lower level 100 octane.
Really?
Yeah. He's an entertainer. He'd be. I
Okay.
don't know how much money he has, but he'd be the lowest level.
Okay.
But the
Okay.
thing is, you might not even know who he was if he wasn't with her.
I only heard one song from him. That's it. Back in the
Yeah.
day.
Well, I'm not. Yeah. So basically, he gets a lot more shine being with her than vice versa. But that's
Okay.
part of being with her.
So he's getting something out of it more than she is,
Oh yeah. Oh hell yes. Oh hell yes. Not even question.
even though she just getting her needs, some of her needs fulfilled.
Well, yeah, she is. But thing is, biologically, psychologically, companionship wise, and she probably needs it more psychologically than anything else because she's blown through guys. So,
Yeah.
there's issues there, but that's a different story.
Yeah.
Because she's been married to higher octane guys, so she was able to catch them. You wasn't able to keep them.
Yeah, I'm just, I mean, that's going to be a different, deeper subject because of those other white dudes that she married.
I cannot get the face art. Who is that?
Oh, that's Michelle.
Michelle. Oh, when she was younger, Michelle Obama.
Yeah, I couldn't do the older ones. I'm like,
Oh, okay. All
they
right.
didn't take any good pictures of her when she was older. When she got older,
Okay. Okay.
I couldn't. I was like, whatever. I just grabbed
Because I
one.
was saying, I said she looks familiar, but I couldn't catch the face.
Yeah, she had that big jaw right there, so some people
Yeah.
figured it out,
Yeah.
like that
Oh,
Lionel Richie
yeah.
jaw.
Yeah. Yeah. The way her mouth is. Yeah. The mouth and the eyes. When she smiles, I can actually get her. But the thing is, yeah.
Yeah, most of the smile ones, they made her face look flat. So I just
Yeah.
said, man, let me just get the one with the popcorn.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's a
Sis,
good picture of her. You did her justice. Okay.
maybe she sent me some money, and
She might see it, might buy it from you. That's actually a pretty good picture of her.
she would be the one to do it.
She
So
might, yeah, because you did her justice on that one.
I tried. I'll probably use this for the
Yeah,
Tuesday panel.
yeah. If you can't sell it, man, my mom would love it. I'll buy it from you.
I'll put it next to Obama's picture.
Mm-hmm.
Man. So I guess we hit the almost hit the 3 hour mark. If and then and I guess Sister Toy, you has some more stuff to add on because we
No, I liked and I really enjoyed listening to everything because I learned a lot. Um, and I think it's just important to continue to have these conversations from the different perspectives of women that you have up here. So I'm just glad I was able to share the space with them and to learn from you all. So thank you.
oh yeah. So this is my other attempt. Appreciate it because we're gonna have these sisters as regulars and anyone else that wants to come in, send me an email and we're trying to get a nice little roundtable of this type of caliber of conversation.
Did I answer all your questions, Toya?
Yes, you did.
Oh,
I pretty much knew where you were going to go with it, but I really was open to whatever you had to say. So
Okay, so how close was I?
spot on. You were
Okay,
spot
all right.
on. It and ever since you said so,
See that,
I've been
Shonda?
looking at all
See,
my
see, see.
friends.
BGS, we actually doing good. I haven't disagreed with a lot of stuff you said tonight, but I'm not gonna always say I agree because I'm not. So
Well, I know. Not, what 50-50, Shonda?
depending on what you're talking about.
I'm talking about everything. 50-50 about that.
For right now, I guess, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was sitting there like,
it,
okay, let's see what happens.
it took me 30 years to develop this. This wasn't overnight. I'm gonna tell you. A
No,
whole lot of people
I
talking to
get it.
people.
I was raised by two strong Geminis, so I get exactly where you're coming from. But I'm
Hmm.
not gonna agree with everything. So it is what it is. But it
Proof is
we
in the
go
pudding. Proof
right.
is in the pudding, man. Proof is in the pudding.
I just tell people to put the gun down. Let's talk.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that I've run this by so many people that are there variances? Yeah, there's always going to be people that are outliers, but like I say, it's like 90%. And for any kind of structure, that's pretty good, in my opinion.
So, people that are listening, we just, this group is gathered to have a conversation about how marriage would look. We're not trying to recruit anybody or
Hmm.
hook people up. Just have the conversation about, the possibilities or
Oh,
things that just won't work out. You
yeah.
get,
You know what Dr. Johnson's trying to get me to do?
uh-oh.
He's trying to get me to merge that with the three levels.
Ooh,
Okay. What is it? What does a 92 jump off look like? I said, do you really want to know?
pull out the pocketbook. Hell, I mean,
Woo.
got somebody in office. No, I ain't gonna, I'm gonna leave her
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. The office fuck file. Yeah,
alone. Ugh. Oh man, everybody. And the sad part, everybody know about it.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Gotta be in the file. Everybody knows who he is.
Yeah, but yeah, we're gonna be coming up with different things. Yeah, I'm glad that the sisters, part of this stuff was the sisters' idea. So kudos to Sister Shonda, Sister
Uh,
Fitness Mom, and Sister Aissata to help coming up with this stuff. And whatever I can do, you know, I'm waiting for them to come up with a name. I know Charlie's Angels ain't gonna be the one though. Got to find a catchy name that people want to catch their eye. I would suggest something that's easy to read or something because some people don't want to read stuff long. Anyhow, any last words?
I'll answer Joe Average Brothers' question at the bottom. I think it is. BGS, would Michelle Obama be a 92 octane if she wasn't married to Barack? Yes, she would. Uh, Harvard, was it Yale? Harvard or Yale? I think it was Yale. She went to, right?
Because I get these.
Harvard.
We went to
Harvard.
Was it
Harvard.
She went to Harvard? Okay.
Uh-huh.
Harvard trained lawyer? Yeah. Corporate lawyer? Yeah, she's corporate all the way. High 92.
Okay,
100 octane is the only one that depends on looks. Everything else is class.
they want to know is Jennifer Holland? Oh, she's not. Yeah, Jennifer Lopez
Lopez, 100 octane.
and Evelyn Lazota.
Lazada, yeah. Who are they married to? Who are they married to? Who do they date?
Yeah.
That's
So,
the easy way. It's easy to tell.
Wouldn't Evelyn Lozada be a jump off?
ooh,
She was married to what's his name, right? Erin Lozada, married to the
Chad Ochocinco.
Ojocinco, right? Football player.
Okay,
okay.
I'm keeping my opinions to myself on that
And
one.
what the thing is, even as a jump off, who does she date? Who does she marry?
Well, she was engaged to, I can't remember that football player's name. Got into some financial trouble for like 10 years, but they never got married.
I thought
So
I thought I thought she
I
was married to
consider
Chad.
she married Chad Ochocinco, but before she got on Basketball Wives, she was engaged to
The
I can't remember
basketball
the
player,
Yeah.
basketball player
Antoine or something like
Antoine.
that.
Yeah, and then she left him as soon as he got in trouble with his
Yeah.
finances.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
consider that a jump off. That's just my
Well,
opinion.
she can
I
be a
could be
jump
wrong.
off thing, even as a jump off thing. She was actually linked to him as a girlfriend. So
Okay.
a jump
Thank
off,
you. Kalila
jump,
Parent put it in the chat.
yeah,
Antoine Walker.
yeah. Jump offs are normally jump offs are actually not linked to you. Okay, like Brittany Renner was actually more of a jump off than a girlfriend. You know, I fly you out, we have sex, and I pass you on. I'm not in a relationship with you, that kind of relationship with you. So she was more of a girlfriend slash baby mama, or whatever you want to
I
call her.
see. So because they were claiming her, that elevates her
Yes, the
status.
elevator
Okay.
status. Yes, yeah. You know, I
Like
don't know many people that actually claim jump offs.
like that time where Rihanna was acted like a jump off to that white dude. And I was like, what in the world is she doing? Because she's
Mm-hmm.
already 100 octane. What was his
Mm-hmm.
name? Dustin Timberlake when she was his jump off. And I was like,
Oh yeah,
what's going on here?
and maybe they, jump offs depend on sex. If the sex is good or you have fun together, that's all that's necessary. It's not you don't have actually have any kind of ties other than that. So that's a jump off, or a side dude or side chick, whatever. That's the difference between it. If you claim them, that's different. Okay, that's your girlfriend, that's your fiance, that's your baby, whatever that is. That elevates you beyond the jump off.
Man, this this stuff is deep. We can't wait. I mean, we got to get that book out, BGS, because it's
Yeah, everybody keeps adding to it. I tell them, I said, I can't write 1,000-page book on this. Okay, so I
probably
can't
in
keep adding
parts.
stuff, huh?
You probably have to do each book by Octane,
Yeah, yeah.
like
Well,
an introduction one first, and then
yeah,
then a bigger book for each Octane.
yeah. I actually do have the outline. I just need to just fill it in.
Yeah, because I
If you
think
need a proofreader,
Okay, all right. I'll send you some stuff.
I have a
thanks.
quick question for BGS, if I may,
Go
and I
ahead.
apologize if this off topic. In regards to the male octane scale,
Hmm.
I noticed there's not either a 89 or a
There is an 89. There actually is.
There is okay. One
Hmm.
of
In
them is,
fact, Kevin actually has said I needed to introduce an 89 for men.
but the original one didn't have that, right?
It didn't have that because uh, men don't judge each other actually coalesce in the same manner that women do. So that's how I actually eliminated 89. It had to go to corporate or actually to working class. There was no 89 for me as far as men were concerned. That's how I actually eliminated it. But Kevin said there's a lot of guys that are actually stuck in that tweener stage. I said okay, I can see that. That's why I added it.
Okay, I was going off the original one, so I didn't
Yeah,
realize you had updated
yeah,
that because
yeah,
that was the main difference I noticed between the two. It wasn't an
yeah.
89 for
But
men, but it was one for women. Okay.
yeah, yeah. Well, Kevin actually convinced me that we needed an 89 for men.
Hmm. So
Is
let's
that the
see.
only question?
Yeah, that was the main one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So the 89 for men are actually the guys that are actually stuck. He calls them failure to launch. Like for instance, like a guy that's in fact, Adrian actually said that he was actually stuck in that class, right? He said he was actually had a master's from somewhere, right? But he's actually working for a firm. His corporate was actually only earning like $40,000 a year. So it's actually that kind of like that 89 stuck category.
So it'd be like a Lawrence on Insecure before he got his position.
Um, Lawrence was always a 92. He was
Okay.
trying to. Lawrence actually got stuck because he was actually trying to start his own business,
Okay.
which speaks to ambition. So he wasn't actually doing it actually staying at home because he was actually not working on anything. So he was always a 92, but he wasn't, even though he wasn't earning any money, he was still trying to work. Actually, start his own firm, his own software. So he always had ambition. He was just failing at it. And once he decided he didn't want to go in that direction, he just picked right up where he left off and kept right on going. So he was always a 92 because you know that because of Issa Rae's girlfriends. They always saw him as a 92, whereas Daniel who's an 87, they didn't like him. So Lawrence was always a 92. So he fit with her group. Even Molly loved Lawrence. In fact, I think Molly was a better fit for Lawrence than Issa was.
Hmm.
Because Molly could have helped him. Issa couldn't help him. Lawrence needed a 92 to pull him up, and Issa couldn't do that because she couldn't do it for herself.
And Sister Jackie asked, So 89 men need 92 women.
It depends on their level of ambition. Do they actually want to work harder and actually want to attain? If they don't, then they don't need a 92. A 92 will actually drive that guy crazy because he's happy where he is. If you're happy where you are, you don't want to be ambitious. Don't get yourself a 92. You're asking for trouble.
Yeah, I can't marry 92. I'm good. I'm sorry.
We're
What
not
I'm
all
saying,
bad. Quit work. We're not
no,
all
no,
bad.
no, no, they're not. You're not bad at
I'm
all. It's
gonna
just
come
what
home
you
and go to
need.
sleep. That's
Yeah, yeah, yeah. 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 There's nothing wrong with a 92 or an 89 or an 85. There's nothing wrong with any of them. Okay. They're just different. What does a man need according to what he wants and what his mission is? Okay. If you need to be driven because you don't have enough ambition, you need a partner to actually drive you, get yourself a 92. If you don't, a 92 is not for you. You
if
got
they
That's
to
why
have
get the woman that suits you. Go ahead.
I think the octane is good for men because a man should decide what he needs a woman for in his life,
Right.
and then he can decide on what kind of wife will fit
Right.
that
Exactly.
lifestyle that he
Yeah.
wants.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why with 92 guys, especially educated guys, right? Because I talked to my PhDs. The problem with not wanting a 92 is that okay, they don't have anybody to talk to because if she's an 87, she's probably not educated enough to actually talk to. And they want the comfort and the stability, but they will want a woman to talk to. And 89s are kind of rare. Like toys are actually rare. There's not that many of them. So yeah,
Yeah,
you find a Toya that wants a 92 that's comfortable with where she's at. Okay, Toys are actually very rare. So 89s for women is actually kind of rare, especially one that's actually
Blushing.
educated. Huh? I mean, are you not amongst your
I
friends?
I was just gonna say I am a driver, even though I'm an 89, I'm definitely a driver.
Are you a
Like
driver? Okay.
yeah, in terms of pushing someone to be their best. I think that that's always been an aspect of my personality.
Well, that's a
You said
92
you wanted
attribute.
a hard working man. I mean, a blue collar type of man.
So why do you like 87s if 87 working class
Um,
guys?
I think it has more to do with my pop because he was one, and I had that
Okay.
was like the probably the strongest male influence in my life.
Okay. What if the 87 guy likes being a working class guy?
That's fine, but I'm always gonna find a way to motivate
Enhance what
him
he does.
to want more.
Enhance
Yeah,
enhance what he does.
yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
But
Like
not be a mogul or not be a billionaire or something like that.
no, not necessarily, but
Okay.
if I see those attributes in you, I'm gonna push you towards making them happen and applying them.
Yeah. Okay. You have a lot of 92 tendencies. Let's put it that way.
As I'm about to go bake a pound cake, so
That doesn't matter. What I'm
it's
saying,
gonna be a
you have
corporate.
92 tendencies, but the thing is, you're not going to be overbearing. Like we got to do this
no,
today. Okay.
no.
All right. Okay.
Oh, that's right. That's the
Yeah.
Haagen-Dazs lady. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You're an 89. That would be my assessment.
And
Okay.
so to Jordan, you might want to listen to the playback because BGS broke all those octanes down in the very beginning.
Okay. Let me pull up the outline real quick for 89 guy. I don't know if I did it yet. 89 male. Let's see. Let me go ahead and share it real quick. This is just an outline. It'll probably answer it quicker than anything else. Okay. 89 guys are flexible, right? Because they span all classes, right? He's smart, but he's an underachiever. Capable, educated, lots of potential. Okay. Stuck, unambitious, unrealized potential. Okay. Good for educated woman that needs a low maintenance companion or a housewife that needs a smart guy, a smart husband. That's an 89. Unambitious, kind of stuck, plenty of potential, but underachiever. That's an 89 guy. So that explains it.
Okay, you got it, Jordan. Hope you.
Would you agree? Would you agree, Sister Shonda? I'm teasing her.
Yeah, I do.
Can the church say amen? I'm just teasing her right at this point.
BGS, you already know I'll let you know when I don't agree. So I mean,
Oh, I know. I got to check on you. You might be rolling your neck. So
no, I don't
in
do that.
silence.
Like you said,
Yeah, he
So
said,
what
"Oh,
are you, Shonda? So you're 89 or 92, Shonda?
um, I would say now I'm a 92, but before I became an MP, I would say I was 89.
Okay. All right. Okay.
yeah, you got too many Soros in there that got bank." Sorry,
Mm-hmm.
that's every chapter out in the whole country. They got bank. Uh, artist has said, "Hold up, let's not run over that." Did I hear pound cake? I said corporate pound cake.
Corporate pound cake. Put some sour cream in that pound cake, baby.
There you
I
go.
actually use cream cheese.
No, that's not bad.
We got Rogish in that building right there because he's about to get fat about what she gonna make. So
Mm.
he said, oh." He said, "BGS over here pulling red pill Terra."
Tarot cards.
Okay,
I mean, I've tried. I've actually run this by thousands of people. I mean, do mean thousands of people.
Charles
So,
in the
and
building.
mostly women, believe it or not. That's where I learned it from.
So anybody have anything to advertise? Let us know what's coming up. I didn't get to ask Crypty Cure what she had, but we did put a channel in the chat.
Yeah, and this is probably I get outside of astrology. It's probably the biggest question I get most of all about the octanes.
Yeah, this is huge because I want the. Oh, he said check my cash out. I want these kind of conversations, from heard from all sides.
Hmm.
And appreciate Jordan for the cash app. Appreciate you, fam.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm Rick James.
and I just want to say, basically, I say this all the time, right? Because people try to compare one versus the other. About this one's bet the 85 is less than a 92 or a 100 octane. They're all the same, right? Depends on what kind of aspects that you want out of a wife. It doesn't matter. I always say that
Yeah,
one's not any better than the other, in my opinion.
yeah, I agree because I mean, it's all about class, and a lot of people like I would never want to be a 92, never. I work
Hmm.
around 92s, I associate with 92s. I would never want to be one, but
Hmm.
that's because my personal preference. That's not the kind of life that I would ever want to live.
I get a lot of things done with 92s. I ain't gonna
Yeah,
lie.
yeah, they're good. They're good for that. They're good for that. But with being in their circle, there's a lot of pressure to achieve. So.
I can
What
make
you
calls.
drive, where you live, what kind of clothes you wear, uh, the kind of guys you're with, where you go on vacation, where you pay for it. All kind of things come with at the 92 level, especially for women. There's a lot of pressure for women at the 92 level. Lots of pressure, and more than just earning money, or more than just being corporate. It's a whole lot of pressure, and some women will like that stuff. Some women don't. So.
Now, based on how things are going in the economy and society, as far as people losing positions and stuff like that, do
Hmm.
you see the 92 women diminishing?
Nope, that they're just going to work harder. They'll find another hustle. Selling insurance, selling real estate, multi-level marketing. They always have a hustle, a
So
way
the,
to actually become a mogul,
so the ambition never dies.
and their ambition never dies. No,
Hmm. So I hope I
that's why.
asked.
But that's why they're also on uh, uh, medication to deal with
Oh,
that pressure.
we might have to get into the octanes and stress.
Ooh, yeah. Well,
That's gonna be another.
hey, that's a different that's a whole different show. That's
So
why
we,
that's why a lot of women would prefer to be 87s
mm,
without the stress.
huh.
He
So
come
that's
home. He come home at 6. I make his dinner. The bills are paid. I sit down and watch reality TV with some wine, and wake the kids up, send them to school, wash, rinse, repeat. It's boring, but guess what? It's stable. No stress. It's boring as hell, which drives some women crazy, but there's no stress.
less gray hair, all
All that, yeah, yeah.
that. Not the not
Everything comes with a price.
okay. So, anyone else want to add anything before I got to fry some fish today?
Okay, all right.
Shout
I
out to
thought fish was
Kendra.
on Friday.
Not according to the missus. She was asking me to make some
Oh,
fish. All right.
okay, all right, all right. Got to keep the missus happy.
Yeah, that could I was able to do an extra live today, so had to be a trade
Oh,
off.
okay. So you had to trade. Okay, all right.
People gotta learn that one day.
It's always a give and take. Okay,
Oh yeah,
that emotional labor.
man. Yeah, so because she already got everything prepared over there. I said,
Oh,
you
okay,
prepare it, I just cook it. You know.
okay. That's a good trade off.
Oh man, it's working.
Hmm.
But yeah. So the ladies, I think the next topic, I don't know, but they have to tell me what to decide on. But my opinion would be, um, how does women with degrees make marriages work?
I think the next topic should be how Capricorns are the best. That's what I
Capricorns, or if you need a woman with structure, Capricorns are the best ones to
We
pick.
got to give her. Yeah, we got to give you our paycheck, like old
Yeah,
school.
yeah, she'll take care of it. Yeah, she will. She'll take care of it. That's her job. Yeah,
Yeah, that's Capricorn woman.
that's Capricorns. They're very structured.
I
Certain
mean,
kind of guys she'll drive crazy, but yeah, very structured. Like Aquarius, you can't have a Capricorn. She'll drive her crazy.
you serious? They're not compatible?
Nope.
I thought, okay. All right.
I don't get along with Aquariuses like that.
That's what I
No,
tell you.
especially because they seem flaky. The guys a lot of times
Yeah,
they
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah. They're free spirits. Yeah, yeah. They don't like to be boxed in. Capricorn's gonna box you in. That's her job.
oh, light bearer is like throwing fits right now. PK.
Is he?
Yeah, they're
Oh,
on
oh.
Aquarius. Uh,
But that's those are that's astrology. That's personality. That's
right.
outside the scope of what we're talking about.
And that aspect of it. Yeah.
Hmm.
All right, people. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down. I hope I asked all the questions that people wanted to ask in the chat. Maybe, hopefully, people got a
I,
lot out of it.
yeah, I didn't get flamed. I thought I was actually gonna get flamed, but I survived. The women were actually kind of nice today. I'm shocked.
So I had two live streams in a row without any kind of derailment or drama. So it's all good, right? Look at Charles. He keeps saying, You see that fitness bomb? He's sending you a message.
Oh, he don't like Capricorns, and I think it's the Sagittarius he doesn't like. He doesn't get along with.
Like his fellow fire signs.
No,
But
well, caps are Earth signs, but
I'm talking about because Charles is a
he's an Aries, and caps and Sagittarius are actually very bossy. And some kind of guys don't like bossy women.
yeah, only fire signs I'm compatible with so far as Leo. So
Really, you're not compatible with Aries.
I can't.
Meow.
That was horrible. That Aries
So,
I dated two Aries,
mm,
same outcome. They're too they're too physical. They put me in jail. They get me in jail.
oh, Aries, yeah, Aries they are physical. Yeah, they
I'm
are.
like, no, don't put your hands on me.
Yeah, yeah, they are. Yeah, they are physical. Yeah,
And
yeah.
Sag, it's hard to break up with them. They're like, is it over? Like, no, it's not. They do that whole Jennifer Holiday
Oh
song.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, okay.
We're not going
You're
nowhere.
not going. Yep, yep, yep. I'm in charge of this relationship. What
Yeah,
you think?
I
Yeah.
don't break up. You don't break up with me. I break up with you. All that stuff. But anyhow, I'm up to putting all my info out there. But yeah.
Yeah, but caps are in my seventh house. I track caps like crazy. Capricorn women love the hell out of me.
So Charles says Sag is crazy.
I told you, you don't like caps and Sagittarius.
Oh, wait a minute. He said, I missed your email that night. I fell asleep hard, but I don't want to get up there to speak on CRT. Contact y'all.
I don't get with the argument over CRT. It's really a nothing burger for the most part.
Yeah, I just say if you got to do like a million panels about it, some about that.
Well, the thing is, if you're gonna do a panel, before you get on the panel, read a book about it first, and then, especially from the creator. Read a book about it and then understand it first, and then get on the panel. Don't go by Fox News.
Yeah, I let them tell it, and then I just keep saying, if you have an issue, go to your school. That's how you know. If they didn't go to the school and go to
Mm,
some school site council meeting or the PTA and then have their saying right, that means they're
mm-hmm.
full of they're full of something.
Yeah,
If they
yeah.
didn't do that, they just want to come and say whatever on these panels and wear a red hat with some white letters. So be it.
I
Hope
mean,
you have events.
the thing is, if you want to have an honest discussion about the black community, have it. But don't carry the white man's water. Okay,
Thank you. You hear
that's my
that,
thing.
ladies?
Yeah, don't carry
Tell
the
them
white
that.
man's water. Talk
Tell,
about
tell
what's happening. If it actually affects us, it affects us. Don't come over here carrying the white man's water. I don't like that. I didn't come over here for that. If I want to do that, go back to the white side and talk to them. I don't need you to come over with white talking points. I don't need that.
exactly.
It kind of irritates me. That's one thing that irritates me. I came over here to the black side, the black manosphere, to get away from that kind of shit.
Hmm.
And
Well,
you
when
guys
you
bring it back over here. Well,
Well, when you
excuse me.
ask them that, they act like they don't hear you. Because that's my issue too. Is you see people. I'm sorry, BJS. I didn't mean to
Go ahead.
cut you off. My
No, go ahead.
apologies. But you see
No, go ahead.
people in the chat type this foolishness, and then you ask them to give sources or facts. I'm not going to name a live stream I saw the other night in
Mm-hmm.
regards to this, but it was
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, you're in the space promoting these conservative, predominantly white talking points, but you
Mm-hmm.
can't quote sources. And then when people ask you to quote sources, it's like, well, where did that come from?
Mm-hmm.
So I will agree with you on that. I'm not going to be an active participant in the destruction of my own people, and I
Mm-hmm.
will call it out all day long, whether people like it or not.
Yeah. Yeah. I got away from MGTOW. I have a MGTOW channel. It's got like, even though I haven't been on, it's like 11,000 subs, right? Second biggest channel. And one of my biggest videos is still on that channel. And I left it and don't put videos up because I don't like being over there. I want to talk to my people and my men without restraint. There's too many restraints over there. That's why I left. I don't like people bringing that stuff over here. I got away from that for a reason.
Yeah, it's quite amazing. There is no race, but you're around black people.
Yeah, yeah, fancy that. I went to white schools most of my life. I know that. I know what you're running from. Okay, stop playing me. I know
Yeah.
what you're running from. Donovan Sharp does business with white men all the time. Has no problem with it. Go over there. If your stuff, Coach Greg Adams does the same thing. Go over there. They can do it. You can do it. They get along with them just fine. But you know what you can't talk about? Can't talk about big booty Keisha over there. They don't want to hear that shit because they don't date black women. They don't want to hear that stuff. Or what the problem he has as a black man with your women. They don't want to hear that stuff because that's not their problem. Don't bring race over here with us. That's what they'll say.
So
So don't bring their stuff over here to us. Go
I'm
ahead.
one day I think I asked somebody years ago, but I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
if you got big booty Keisha, then
Mm-hmm.
basically your race problem is resolved. I mean, this big booty Keisha has to do something with them for them to say, hey, I'm back with the community now. Because they keep complaining about her and all that. I'm like, okay, well, if you had some moments with her,
Because stop having sex with big booty Keisha. You won't have to worry about her.
I never
It's
understood
it's
that.
really simple. Okay. It's a big booty Keisha means that you've dipped down in class because you can't get the kind of woman that you want in your own class. That's what happens.
Facts.
And I know that. I told him that. Okay, you can't go up against the master of the universe, right? To get the same kind of good looking woman in your class, you got to dip down, and they don't always accept you. That's the problem, because you're lame to them, and you don't want to do the work to actually fit in. That's the biggest problem that I hear amongst guys, right? You want the top 10% of women in your group. You can't get them because you don't qualify. So you dip down, and try to take the other guys' class of women that looks good to you, and she don't necessarily accept you. That's the problem. So big booty Keisha looks good to you. If you can get her that with a master's degree, that'd be even better. But you can't. So and she doesn't. She thinks that you're lame because you don't present the class of guy that she's in. She likes the class of guy that she's in. So she can pick that guy over you. So you can pick Pookie and Ray Ray because those are the guys in her class. and you're lame to her, you're a mark to her, and so you complain about she should pick me because I have money and education. That doesn't mean anything to her.
Cause she gonna cheat on you with somebody that she likes.
She gonna accept your money, accept your gifts, and still sleep with Pookie and Ray Ray.
And,
Facts, because those are the guys in their class, and the women that in the upper class, you don't have enough money and status to actually attract her.
and shout out to KP Bailey for the Cash App.
Yeah, I'm Rick James.
And certain guys, certain 92 guys, hate when I bring that up. They hate it because I can smell it on them. What? Why does she works corporate and she has Pookie and Ray Ray as a boyfriend? Where did she? How did she grow up? She grew up in the projects. That's the kind of guy she actually imprinted on. She's a climber. Okay, you should know that. First thing, if she does something that doesn't fit her class, ask where she grew up at and who her mother was. You figure it out in like 2 seconds. She's
Like
imprinted by a guy in her class.
you can see
Excuse me.
that with the 100 octanes a lot too. Like
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, you see, we see amongst the men, um, uh, because they can do actually what they call a monkey trick, right? Entertain you or dunk a basketball doesn't mean that they're educated. They can dunk a basketball, actually sing and can't put two sentences together. Don't know what a comma is. But the thing is, because they're 100 octane, because of what they can do and who they can entertain and the size that they have, okay, they're just as uneducated as the chick that came from the projects. Same guy, just different, um, kind of say a different status. That's all. Same guy. And if he loses his position and his money, he goes back to where he was, back to the projects.
And shout out
Guy
to
hasn't changed. He hasn't gone through any transformation. But the thing is, because of his talent, he actually override all this stuff. Same thing with the women. The way you look overrides all that other stuff
hmm
in their class. Go ahead.
and shout out to Information Man for the super chat.
Yeah, I'm Rick James.
Guy that got me started. It's his fault that I'm on YouTube, y'all. Blame Information Man.
Well, Rodney, you can always hit me up, man. You can always open a stream. You should know this already, Rodney. We went over this.
And shout out to Bennett for the Cash App. Appreciate you, fam.
Yeah, I'm Rick James.
Yeah, yeah, man. I got
Yeah,
Bennett.
we haven't even gotten into the men, but the thing is, this is just an overview of the women. Man, I didn't give a complete overview because it would take too long.
So I hope people get this, listen to the playback if they came here late and, just take some notes. These are just things to look at. We ain't trying to indoctrinate anybody or
No.
try to what do you call it, hook up anybody.
Hmm.
Just observe things instead of using their emotions.
Yeah. Like with Lisa Bonet
Yeah,
and what's his name, right? Jason Momoa, right?
right.
Uh, Class, SMV, and The Wall all at the same time.
Yeah, that's
like that other couple, Jesse Williams and his ex-wife, but he became 100 octane and she was a 92.
And
And
yeah,
now
well, yeah,
he's dating
yeah, yeah,
another.
yeah,
He's dating 100 octane now.
yeah. He is. Yeah, yeah. That's that can happen. He actually moved up from being a 92 to a 100 octane. When he married her, she was actually higher status than he was, and when he moved up, she didn't fit. That happens. Kind of rare for a man to do that, but yeah, it happens. Class mismatch.
yeah. That's why I was hoping to dive into probably a little later on that though, because I think we like I had to figure out from my ex on what I really shouldn't be looking into, and they kind
Mm-hmm.
of helped me to make this decision for my second one.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the part we don't look into because we're always looking into how you feel about somebody and all
Mm-hmm.
that,
Mm-hmm.
but it's way more than that. This is one of them right here.
It's one of them, yeah. Because like I said, I constantly get questions about this. I can't tell you how many guys talk to me about this. Even women. Okay, how can I change classes? What would I have to do, right? How can I actually attract a guy that's at a higher level? Kevin's trying to teach that to women right now. How can I come from like an 87 to a 92? What are the attributes? Okay, what do I have to kind of perform? You know, what do I need to actually raise myself up to that level? and she does it night in, night out.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
doesn't. He doesn't. He tries to sugarcoat it, trying to make it more softer. I'm kind of brusque with it because I don't really mince words. If you don't qualify, you don't qualify. I want a 92 guy that makes 300,000 a year. Okay. What's the highest degree that you have? Well, AA. Sorry, baby, you don't qualify.
But I could cook a nice casserole.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so she stuck her head. I gotta get out of here, y'all. All right,
Yeah.
so
All right. All right. Yeah. Yeah. It's time for me to take a nap.
I appreciate you, BGS, once again. I
Yeah.
appreciate the sisters
I thought
coming
I thought it was gonna be on like 30 minutes, man.
up.
I thought the women would actually kick me out after like 30 minutes, but they kept me.
No, that was the harness that kept it going.
All right.
Really appreciate it. And shout out to No Guarantees for the super chat.
Yeah, I'm Rick James.
And just keep a lookout for these sisters again. We're going to be doing more projects. But let me know what you guys think about my Sunday chalk talks. Because I'm going to have different various guests come through and or different topics and have everybody else to the floor instead of me.
Yeah, the chat was well behaved tonight. So
Oh, yeah. So we had our last moment of the trolls last time. So maybe they'll come back next time. So I'm like, oh, well. They got the message around this time. All right, people. So, Toya, Aissata, Shonda, and Fitness Mom, appreciate you, ladies, for coming up again once again. I'll be sending more messages out and articles and stuff. We're gonna do the thing.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Thank
Yes, thank you,
Good,
Art and BGS and everybody for the opportunity. It was a great discussion, and
I made it.
everybody
I made
enjoy
it
their
out alive. I
their
made it
day
out
off
alive.
tomorrow.
Shonda didn't choke me. I made it out alive.
Mhm. I don't roll that way. That ain't worked out a good way.
you.
oh,
Only
Force choked me over the internet. Ugh.
when you're not keeping green nails dirty. No, I'm
All
joking.
right.
good
Uh,
night.
Good night, Fitness Mom.
Good night. Thank you for having me, and have a good night, Shonda, Asada, Toya, Art New Style, and BGS.
Y'all be
Good
safe.
night,
Peace
lady.
out.
Thank you, peace and hair grease.
All right, y'all.